Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you're all having a nice, whatever it is, wherever you are. I know it's been a little bit. I think my last stream was just over 2 weeks ago, but I'm here now, so you're only allowed to complain so much, right? I don't want to hear it from any of you. Never mind. If I start swearing this intensely this early, it's going to start causing problems. But, earlier than normal, but that's just, you know, that's how we roll here at Cool Kid 369. Sometimes we just say fuck it and we stream at, normal times, and then, you know, the next day it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Why? You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, Robin. I feel like I'm scared of the fact that you become a member again, because it, like, naturally my eyes are drawn to the different text color of your name in the chat, and then I read the things you say, and I normally don't want to read the things that you say. I must when you stream once a month. Slayed me A+. Yeah, we're not in this part of the slideshow very often. Other Warframe content creator called Cool Kid? That's a good question. Let me double check real quick as well. This might start looping. I want to make sure. Okay, yeah, we're fine. Sometimes it's you. Peculiar. Dude, that reminds me. So there was this one time. I think it was on Weird and Obscure stuff like 11 or 12. No, it was older than that. But someone left a comment because in that Weird and Obscure stuff, I had mentioned slide kicks, and I think I said something like they dealt a small amount of damage or something to that effect. And someone commented, like, they don't just deal a small amount of damage, they deal the entire base damage of your melee weapon along with these certain mods. And he was like, some guy managed to use it to kill forward and even steel path level enemies. And I'm like, is someone gonna tell him that was me? Like, I just thought that shit was so fucking funny. I remember I posted, I think Salus even replied to that guy with just the word clueless when she saw that comment. But it was so fucking funny. Anyhow, I hope you all are having a nice Styanak Saturday, because that's what today is. Yeah, I know. That's the joke. Today is Styanak Saturday. Did you change profile picture? Yes, I did. So this is always my favorite one in terms of, like, changing these. It's always the funniest. My game audio, I think I accidentally left my audio turned down a little bit more than I'm supposed to. Hold on. Anyhow, today's live reaction, I think, was from Seraph in the Discord, but I couldn't catch their name before it got truncated because I have OBS open. Anyhow, I'll double check it, I guess, in a minute. Let me get this pulled up. Okay. I had an idea for something funny, but it didn't work out. I fucked with it for like 30 minutes and it wasn't working, so I just gave up. Anyways, hold on, let me catch up a little bit. So yeah, when it comes to the changing of the profile picture thing, yes, I have this recurring gimmick where we can, yes, in the Discord there's a chat for live reactions that people can submit.
Continues to fall into chaos. Check
I'm almost in the path. It's Styanak Saturday somewhere. Yeah, that's the spirit that we want to be on. But each month I rotate my profile picture seasonally, and the April one is the one that catches most people off guard because it's the only one where the caracal completely changes color. Here's this. This is really high res. This is a collage of all of them by month. So we're on April. Hold on, let me get the red arrow for comedic effect. We're on April, so we're on this one right now, the Easter one, where I cosplay as Jesus' persona. And then bro got whitewashed. This is true. So, and then, you know, from here... Oh, I'm adjusting the wrong thing. From here, we have May, June, and so on and so forth. This is all of them in one place. If you've never, like, seen them all before, or you just want to get an idea of what they all look like, or you just want to accuse me of being a furry, because I'm really not making it look good for myself by, you know, showing something like this. But it was a thing I started, I think, in 2023, and we kind of went from there. The hell is the pumpkin one? What, the one for, this is the one for September. It's just a generic... Okay, so, quick story about the September profile picture. So, I had two thoughts for the September profile picture one, right? I was like, A, we just do something like this. It's like a generic fall profile picture, right? And so we did, like, the pumpkin in the background, and I'm, like, wearing a jacket, stuff like that. The alternative was I was like, Rose, what holidays are in September? And the only one I could think of was 9/11, but obviously she didn't want to draw me as a terrorist. So that didn't happen. So this is what you guys get. You're just going to have to deal with it. And then the story, we actually live streamed, because I know someone asked about this one with the beak. The reason that this is the one for, because obviously Thanksgiving is in November, but the holiday... Sorry. Anyways. So this Thanksgiving one, the reason it's wearing this, like, weird outfit is because Rose and I didn't really know what to do for it. So when we were doing stuff, like, because she live streamed it on her YouTube channel, and when we were looking at stuff, we found this dog in a turkey costume, and so we put the same costume on me. That was what we ended up deciding to do on that stream for the Thanksgiving one. But yeah, this is all of them. I think most of them should be fairly obvious in terms of, like, why they're in particular spots. I remember the maid outfit one for June for Pride Month. I had multiple people get mad at me over that, which was fucking hilarious. I received, I think, like, 4 or 5 either DMs or pings of people being like, that I was taking it too far, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyways... So that's there's your brief cool kid lore dump, I guess, for that. The Stormtrooper one, that's May because of May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day. I couldn't really think of much else to do other than like a generic spring themed one, but May is the last month of what the fuck am I saying? Spring. I cannot speak. So, you know, anyways, look, I'm homophobic cool kid fans is crazy. You know, it'd be like that. Also, Nitro is here. The reason that I haven't been doing much lately is because he was visiting last week, but he's back home now, so we're back on the we're back on the regular grind. I've been working on even just this morning, actually, I was recording some stuff. Shit, I was supposed to record a thing for Suckmud, and I forgot. I'm gonna have to do that later. But so I was working on the script for making summons overpowered. I've recorded the first third of it. My current like plan, right, priority stack, is I'm going to like record and then make like the video in thirds. It'll all still be one video when it comes out, but the goal is to help prevent burnout, because this video is going to be like 2 hours long, an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and I feel like if I'm going to do all of the different parts of video creation, right, like recording and then editing the audio and all that, if I do those all at once, I'm probably going to want to kill myself. So I decided I'm going to break it down into like 1/3-ish of the video chunks so that I can get to the fun parts faster and not have to deal with all the awful shit all at once, because it's really annoying, and editing audio and stuff is really boring, and doing voiceovers is also just really difficult. On streams, it's not as big of an issue for me to, like, emote, I guess, with my voice, but when I'm reading off of a script, it's a lot harder to, like, convey the emotions I'm trying to. Like, there's been a lot of videos where I've had jokes that I had to cut out because I just could not make the joke land because the way I read my scripts is so robotic. There was even a bit in, like when Sabuchi did his video for Can Warframe's P, he asked me to do it because he thought that my robotic delivery would be funny. Which, minor side note about that video, I know that we've been live for, like, 12 minutes and I haven't even played the game yet, but Sabuchi had voice quills lined up to do that video instead of me. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the fuck do you mean you picked me over voice quills? Are you stupid? It's funny, though, because no one has ever brought up that I'm in that video to me, ever. So, it's fine. No one knows. The audio file for me helping Sab with that video is actually called YouTube Career Suicide.mp3, but nobody ever found out, so we're fine. How many words do you think each of your scripts is average? It varies very wildly. This script is over 16,000 words. So to put that into perspective, that's about as many words as you say in a day, on average. And it's all condensed into that video. Let me catch up a little bit. Is Archon Monster Shield Gate better? I'd recommend the Shield Gating strategy with catalyzing shields and then fast deflection and Vigilante Vigor. It's surprisingly effective. Have you been tested for autism? No. I live in America. You think I can afford to get tested for anything? Dude, I can't go to the doctor and have them give me a fucking checkup, bro. Anyways. What's the Sab video? It's not important. People don't have to know. Eventually becoming a Warframe YouTuber. The lore, you know what, let me just go ahead and we'll just start up like a simple mission while I'm doing this. But the lore for why I started doing YouTube is pretty simple. I was really into the like iceberg trend on YouTube at the time. I had been like watching a ton of iceberg videos, and I wondered if there was one for Warframe, and I looked and someone had made a Reddit post about it but not a video. Oh right, I'm on the wrong loadout. Shit, this is the one I was using for filming. But also, yes, I did get all the good proto-frame endings. But someone had made a Warframe iceberg on Reddit, but no one had made a video of one. So I was like, well, my brother Hunter has been making YouTube videos for a while. They never really, like, got that big. But I was like, I'll ask him for some help, and I'll just make the video for it myself. And I'll go ahead and, you know, put together like some assets and stuff for it, add my own entries and whatnot. And originally it was going to be the only thing that I ever made. I didn't plan on making anything else. And for like the first couple months of the video's release, it didn't really do that well. But then all of a sudden it kind of just started to rapidly blow up out of nowhere. And from there I was like, well, it would be a complete waste to not do more with this.
「
What's the sab video? It's not important. People don't have to know.   It's fine. No one knows. The audio file for me helping Sab with that video is actually called YouTube Career Suicide.mp3, but nobody's ever found out, so we're fine. Also, thoughts on the Nightmare Frame allegations. I actually have kind of an extensive opinion on that, but let me catch up a bit more before I talk about
Eliminate
it.
all Corpus threats.
Da-da-da. Okay, I think I'm mostly caught up. It's a little bit difficult. Sometimes I do miss things, so my apologies if I miss a message of yours. But, so, in regards to the Nightmare thing, I guess for anyone who doesn't know, Nightmare Frame and the controversy, the stream footage is bugged for me. You'll have to elaborate a bit more, I'm afraid. But the Nightmare Frame controversy is pretty straightforward. Nightmare Frame did a video about Temple. I have no base damage right now because I'm using Retaliation. Nightmare Frame did a video about Temple where they repeatedly used the term he, and it's like, I feel like on a face value, if someone was just ignorant to that fact, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But when someone in the comments had brought it up to them, Nightmare was kind of vitriolic about that, because for those who don't know, Temple is, you know, non-binary. And so Nightmare Frame was kind of shitty about being told that, and it resulted in Nightmare's glyph being removed from the game. So Nightmare Frame is not part of the creator program, and he hasn't been for a while. He explains this in his own video, actually, is that he has never been re-added to the partner program. I mean, he was part of the old partner program, but like the modern creator program, he's never been a part of. But it is pretty unprecedented. Like, even AGGP's glyph is still obtainable, which is kind of crazy, because AGGP was a... you know what? There are certain things that I probably should not say on stream. But AGGP was nuts. Let me put it that way. AGGP was nuts. And I'm surprised you could still claim his glyph. So, the thing with Nightmare Frame, though, I have a pretty extensive opinion on this for a lot of reasons, I guess. In Nightmare's own video where he talks about it, he talks about how, like, DE caved to the Redditors, basically. And even, I think it was B Ghost. I don't know if you're still here, B, because I know you said you were going to go to sleep. But I think it was B posted people that were trying to review bomb the game because of the thing with Nightmare Frame. And it's funny because, like, people echoed the same sentiment of, like, you know, oh, the alphabet people, DE's bending the knee to the Redditors. And I remember thinking to myself, like, aren't Kaz and Liger non-binary? And I looked into it, and yes, they both are. I never showed that kind of stuff. It must have been someone else. It was over in Grattler Gang, so I must be misremembering with who posted it. But the point is, it was a couple of reviews that were trying to review bomb the game over it. But I remember looking and it's like, yeah, the alphabet people, you know, didn't pressure DE into doing this. The alphabet people make the game, right? Like, yeah. So I first of all, I just thought that was kind of stupid in general, because it's like, yeah, like I said, the alphabet people make the game, bro. Like, it's not like they're bending the knee to the Redditors. Especially because Kaz, even, you know, like, Kaz is the one who really pushed for Temple to be added, and they'd been wanting to do that frame for a very long time. Temple has been a frame that's been on the docket for a very long time, and they talk about how their own experiences were a large part of the way the character came out in the Reddit AMA. So the alphabet people, like fictional flags. People use that term derisively for, you know, LGBT. Well, I'll put it that way. And I'm mostly saying it like that to make fun of them. So it's like, yeah, Kaz Adams was the main person who worked on this frame, and they're non-binary. So, like, no shit, it would probably bother them if you were doing stuff like that and then being such a dick about it. But I feel like with the stuff in regards to Nightmare Frame, I feel like, how do I put this? Because this is going to sound really questionable, but I have a legitimate reason for thinking this, and I'm going to try and explain. People should not be celebrating what happened, and my reasoning for that is really simple. I think it is safe, generally speaking, that you should assume that someone is ignorant before they're bigoted. Nightmare Frame's own argument for the Temple thing was that it doesn't matter because they're a fictional character. I think the problem with that argument, which should be pretty immediately obvious if you think about it, is that you are normalizing that treatment sort of outside of that context, because I think it's kind of a tough sell that you don't do that to any other group except for that particular one, and it's ultimately like a respect thing, I guess, fundamentally, and being disrespectful in this more fictional context makes it easier to treat people that way, you know, removed from the context, right? But I feel like that kind of argument from Nightmare, taken completely at face value, doesn't mean he's bigoted necessarily. I feel like it's more of just like a faulty logic. And I think people celebrating his glyph getting removed, I feel like that is going to, like, if he's not bigoted already, he's certainly being helped along, you know what I mean? Like, if you feel, let's say in Nightmare's case, he feels anywhere from, like, neutrality to mild annoyance towards this particular group of people. If Nightmare felt that way, and now those people are, in his mind at least, responsible for taking his glyph out of the game and embroiling him in controversy, he's probably gonna like them a lot less. Now, to that end, obviously, Nightmare's community went off the fucking rails, and that's pretty bad, but that's not directly Nightmare's fault, and I also understand to an extent that you can't control your audience. Like, whether or not he disavowed them, I think honestly ultimately doesn't matter because it wouldn't stop them. But I'd say willful ignorance is the same as bigotry. I think the question for me, moreover, is like, is it, how do I put this? Like, it's not necessarily, like, I think it's more of like a faulty logic, like attempting to justify something small and stupid, I guess. And I think that he did nothing his audience did. Nightmare himself did kind of start the controversy by misgendering Temple, and then people tried to correct him politely, and he snapped back at them over it. But I think that a lot of it does stem from his audience, but that doesn't entirely absolve Nightmare of fault necessarily. And I feel like as well, like, in Nightmare's video talking about the situation, he shows a clip from Asmongold, and Asmongold's take is just fucking stupid, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Asmongold says something to the effect of, like, most people tolerate transgender people and draw the line at non-binary people, which I think just goes to show that Asmongold does not interact with people at all. Because, like, that's just such a shallow and really... How do I even put this? It's like... It's really obvious that he has no fucking idea what he's talking about, and it continues to floor me every single day that anyone watches him. But that's besides the point. So, I don't know, I guess, like, my overall thoughts with that kind of thing is, like, what happened to Nightmare ultimately is just, I don't know, the natural consequence, I guess, of what he did, but I think the community's response to it at large has probably not the best way to go about it, because you're going to push him further into that camp, right? Due to tariffs, real and true. He's cooked. I mean, yeah, you know, that's true. Sky's still blue. Look, yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily believe, at least not with the information available to us right now, that Nightmare is, like, a bigot so much as that he's just, I don't want to say misinformed is the right word, but that he's just, like, not operating on functional logic, I'll put it that way. Asmongold is just straight up bigoted, and I'm completely fine with making fun of him.
Oh, yeah.
How do I cope? I'm not sure what in particular you're referring to. Unfriendly, and that's, I also think, though, with Nightmare, at least in regards to his own comment section, he doesn't read them that much, I imagine. I guess I can't say for sure. Like, I do want to make it clear that Nightmare, like, not attempting to call that kind of thing is wrong. I think that that should be fairly self-evident. But with an audience that large, there comes a point where it's not controllable, I guess. Where's the sibling abuse? Well, we haven't spawned her yet. I'm currently beating up her dog, which, to be honest, considering that my sister is a white woman, it's probably in the dog's best interest that I put them down like this. But that's besides the point. Is a stream event later? Is right to be disrespectful. That's also kind of one of the things, too, is a lot of people say that this is a violation of Nightmare's freedom of speech, and I want to make something overwhelmingly clear. No, it fucking isn't. Like, freedom of speech is something that I feel like gets misused by people on the internet a lot, because it's a very important right, but people don't understand it's a legal protection. It means the government can't arrest you or charge you for the things you say. Digital Extremes, as like a company, is entirely allowed to not associate with you on the grounds that they don't like something you said. That's entirely within their right, and it's, I feel like, even moreover, right? To insist that you should be allowed to say certain things and not be ostracized by groups of people that disagree with those things is more of a violation of their rights, because you're trying to insert yourself in a space that you're not wanted in. Like, even if you don't go to jail for the shit that you say, people are still entirely allowed to not associate with you or remove you from their spaces on the grounds of the things you say. Freedom of speech is one of those things that I feel like gets contorted a lot. We are smarter than 5-year-olds.
They're not actually trying to silence opinions on this shit. They're letting them talk technically, so it's not even bad.
There's a weird thing, even lives in the US nor is DE from the US. That's true, but like other countries have, you know, speech protections. It's not a US exclusive thing. There's this sort of weird, like, American-centric idea. I'm not saying that you necessarily believe this, but just something that I've observed myself is that, sorry, bumped my microphone, people seem to weirdly believe that, yeah, other countries don't have freedoms or rights, and it's like, they do. They're not, like, worded the same. Like, the First Amendment isn't a thing in Canada, but that doesn't mean they don't have some form of speech protection there. Anyways, like I said, I had a somewhat complex thought process for what happened with Nightmare, but overall, like I said, I don't think he's like a bad person so much as just my current assumption is that he's just operating off of bad logic, or is like a little bit off kilter, so to speak. If more evidence emerges to the contrary, then yeah, obviously I think that that's noteworthy and something that should be criticized, but for the time being, it's like what happened happened. It's ultimately not part of, or it's not something I have any control over. It's fundamentally between Digital Extremes and Nightmare himself, right? Frogment was uncapped. Yes, I do. That also reminds me back when the Circuit Decree was uncapped. I'm glad that guy decided to split into a bunch of little bastards right after I hit him with my shield. The armor strict frame for anyone else. Do I have any dropped frames? I don't have any dropped frames currently, so who's representing Wednesday? That's just Warframe Wednesday. You can be any Warframe on Wednesday, but today is Styanak Saturday. Stream is having a seizure? Really? But I'm not currently dropping any frames. That's very strange.
It looks fun to me.
Wukong Wednesday, pick up your frames, SMH. Stream is fine. Well, I don't know what that's about. Yeah, I have nothing in my OBS telling me that I had dropped any frames there, so I'm not sure what that was about. But what happened with Nightmare Frame? If you back up the stream a little bit, you should be able to have more context to the situation. Honestly, with how big it is, I'm a little bit surprised people don't know, but I guess it makes sense. If you're not part of, like, the Warframe subreddit or something, you really have no reason to know what happened. Read this if you can read this. Well, I guess there's I fulfilled the condition. Okay. Can I be Worm Prime on Wednesday? If you'd like, yes, you were entirely welcome to be Worm on Wednesday. I remember Nightmare existed today. Damn. Audio is the entire stream just falling apart, or are people trying to gaslight me into just shutting things down and packing up and going home early? I say like I'm not in my home currently doing this live. It's not like I go to like the public fucking library or something for their internet. What am I? Pedo? Look, the Warframe subreddit is not for pedophiles. The Warframe subreddit is for people that didn't graduate elementary school. I swear, I've read some unbelievably horrendous takes on that place. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Prime sure-footed prices. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not tradable, so presumably not at all. Also, welcome sci-fi. I'm still on training wheels. Yeah, like, God, there's so many things that I've seen on the Warframe subreddit. Like, I've talked about this before, because it shocked me so much. Does anyone here remember when Angels of the Zariman came out? I'm almost positive that if you think you know where this is going, not quite. So, Angels of the Zariman comes out. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy around it, but this is something that is completely separate from the main controversy that I thought was really sad. People were crying that the quest was too hard. And ultimately, they nerfed the Angels of the Zariman quest like 3 times. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? Because I did the quest with an unranked Gyre, an unranked Alternox, and an unranked Hespar. And people were mad that the quest was too hard, and it got nerfed multiple times. And the main reason for that, I imagine, was the Void Angel fight, because people weren't using anything other than the Moat Amp. And it got so bad that there is a prompt. Now, if you try to play the quest with the Moat Amp equipped, the game will tell you, please equip the Sirocco, because people could not put 2 and 2 together that the amp you were given in the previous quest was supposed to be used in the new one. It was so stupid. Just using, and yes, I did have an amp, but like even beyond that, like you were given Sirocco with that upcoming quest in mind. Some people just hit auto-install on their gear. Unfortunately, yes. Auto-install actually in the most recent update just got more, changes to be better, but they should still just, I'm sorry, auto-install needs to just be removed from the game. It's a bad feature.
Yeah.
Like, fundamentally, I think it's a bad feature, because you're encouraging people to not learn the system. Even if you improve auto-install, fundamentally, it encourages people to not learn the system. Had better melee arcanes. I feel like plenty of them are quite good, like even removed from the obvious one that is melee influence. I still feel like, you know, like exposure and stuff like that, I'll serve a solid place. Doesn't hold up 100 hours. Yeah, deadass. Me when I have to equip gear that's not beginner, like filler garbage. Eat any Swedish fish lately? No. Receiving the Sirocco and never slot it in. I feel like if you, like, going in know that you need to use an amp, you'd think it would occur to people. And the Orb Mothers. Yeah, like, as well as, yeah, between, like, Eidolons and the Orb Mothers, there's plenty of content that would have prompted you to even at least know about them. I don't know. I feel like, overall, it was just a really stupid thing to watch. Because, like, I remember playing through it just fine, and then being like, what the fuck? People are complaining it's too hard? Because a lot of people were, like, talking about it like it was, like, ball-bustingly difficult, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, dude?
Honestly, bros.
How's the ever changed? I don't personally think the amp grind is that bad. It kind of depends, though. Because, like, for the Ostrons, aside from the fact that regular sentients drop sentient cores now, the farming strategy, while boring, is you can just follow the Terra list around and kill the Bombalists. I didn't personally find it that hard back in the day, or I guess that grueling, but maybe that's just me. Once you get in the flow of actually, like, fighting Eidolons, it's very quick from there. Doubt it's ever gonna change. Yeah, I agree that it's pretty unfortunate. There aren't a ton of missions that I actually, like on this planet. Because they're stuck on New War. It's funny, too, because, like, the New War has had its requirements reduced so many times. Like, I think it was in 99, they finally just decided, fuck it, you don't need a Necromech anymore. And I'm gonna be honest, like, you all are entirely allowed to disagree with me on this, because I know I'm in the minority here. I do not get why people were so bent out of shape about the Necromech grind. Not only was it nerfed, like, 6 fucking times, I grinded a Necromech on release, and I don't have any particularly bad memories associated with it. I do have bad memories associated with building Necromech weapons, because the drop parts for their pieces was fucking terrible. But the mechs themselves were fine on release for me. Like, I don't remember it being that bad. But people have brought up that, you know, friction point with the New War ever since its release, even through all of the changes to the grind. And that just kind of, I don't know how to put it. Like I said, I feel like I sound like a dick saying that, because it's obviously a valid concern if that many people are experiencing it. I just don't personally understand it. Never did Railjack. Yeah, the original Railjack farm, back in Rising Tide to build your Railjack, was actually comedically horrendous. Like, the original, okay, for those of you who weren't playing during Rising Tide, first of all, you're lucky, because Rising Tide was a shit show. But whenever you wanted to build a component of your Railjack and Rising Tide on launch, the resource costs were all like 10 times higher. it took 1,000,000 credits per piece, and you had to wait a day between each mission. And Rising Tide came out before Railjack, so when you finished building your Railjack, guess what you could do with it? Nothing. There was nothing you could do with the Railjack once it was done being built. The game mode wasn't out yet. It took like a week to build the full thing for literally no reward. It was so dumb. And they added new resources with like cubic diodes and stuff like that you had to farm on planets because you couldn't farm them in Railjack yet. I haven't even played the quest. There is still I feel like there is like a valid lore reason for them being there. I guess if you ask me, but that's just my opinion. The mech segment isn't very long though. I agree with you on that. Well, until like 3 hours in. Well, like I guess previously you couldn't even start the quest, but I'm guessing that part of it as well is that people just didn't want to wait for the long crafting time, but that's an issue with Warframe as a whole, right? Like, with Kome and Rhino having reduced crafting times, it feels like they're testing the waters, but, like, if you want my opinion, we just need to tear the fucking Band-Aid off, dude. Like, why are we still waiting 3 fucking days on average to build a new Warframe? That's ridiculous. It's one of those things about this game that throughout all of its progress as a free-to-play title, it still just hangs me up so much because it's such mobile game type bullshit. I don't know why it's still in the game. If they made it so that frames were like, say, I could see them leaving parts at 12 hours. I'd personally reduce them to like 6. But if they just reduce all frame crafting times to 1 day, I think that would be fine. I don't know why they're so touchy about just doing it. Or beating someone's sister. That's the objective, but she's not showing up. Just catching up a little bit. 6 hour minimum. So they actually have explained that the reason Forma can only be crafted 1 at a time and that they take so long is purely because Forma are one of the game's most profitable microtransactions.
It's like, damn.
Right? Like, genuinely. I'll be honest with you. I think a big thing with that, too, is if they are making money from rush building, does it offset the money they're losing with player retention, right? If people are leaving because of the system, are they losing more money in that exchange than they would make by leaving it alone? Makes sense why you needed a mech. Like I said, there is a lore reason for it, in terms of, like, the Orphix fields are to stop Warframes, and they were on the ship for a pretty obvious reason. That's also why you couldn't board the original Murex in the opening of the quest. She's here! Green Heron pronouns herself!
Yo, let's go.
Perish.
The Galaxian always gives a cold proc, right?
No.
Ah, gotcha.
It doesn't have any guaranteed proc mechanic. Remind me to piss you off. I don't think you need reminded for that, generally.
When a sister distinguishes herself,
oh no, you're replying to never mind.
Promotion.
But that was kind of mean of me, Evelyn. My apologies. Anyways.
Am I? Oh my! If this isn't just
I feel as if we leave them behind. That's just kind of the nature of this game, unfortunately, is old content gets left behind fairly regularly.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
For playing too much of their game, true or false? That depends on your definition. People have been trade banned for doing really long missions because the rewards are flagged as suspicious, but outright banned for playing too much? Not really.
We've reached the prison. Find our prisoner.
Just kind of staring at the star chart. Universal experience.
I will not forget this, Tenno. Prisoner located. We need to get them back to
Sorry, it's a little bit difficult to play the game and read a chat at the same time. Since they added old ones. Yeah, they are pretty far behind, and I don't know why. It's even more annoying to me, because fucking the OcuCore augment, I think it's called Sentient Surge, is a Nabarus thing. They never put it in the Nightwave rotation. They put it in Nabarus, and then they put Sentient Barrage, the Batacore one, in Nightwave. Like, what the fuck?
Honestly,
why did you do that? How does it go, Cool? Can I hope you had an exciting experience spraying weeds outside? Okay. more resource requirements. I think that, like, I get the idea behind platinum rushing, and they could leave it in the game if they reduce the crafting times. I just think that the crafting time should be reduced in general.
Yeah.
While reading chat. I mean, that's true. I could do that. I got Vohm. Do I have a Vohm? Oh my god, thank fuck. I saw that I didn't have one when I started typing it in, not realizing I was in the antivirus. And then, you know, like, dude, I'm gonna kill myself. So he was flagged. I do remember reading about that. And the Nightwave shop. That's a peculiar situation to find themselves in. I'll put it that way. Are scared to nerf it. Like, when it shows up in Nabarus, it is easier to obtain, in my opinion, than it would even be from Nightwave.
Oh, but once you have a chance, the what's it, Ribbons, like the Quartak and the what the fuck?
Do I have a Quartak ribbon? I don't even remember.
I think you got a Quartak ribbon the other day, and it was for some other gun that I had that you didn't want.
I do not have a ribbon for Quartak.
Really? What was it then?
Sort by rarity is okay. No, the queue was still there. Get banned for pausing the game. Yeah, I know Baker's ban was reversed ultimately, though, wasn't it? Because I know that Baker handed a bunch of items over to Shiro. Maybe that was an alt account or some shit. I don't even remember. Corvex ribbon? True.
It might have been an action ribbon? I don't know.
Got trade banned, but honestly deserved. I remember people got trade banned for farming the Deimos Requiem towers. That probably still happens, honestly, but on release it was a big problem when they had like, you would go into an ISO vault and find like a good one that was really easy to trigger, and you would just farm resources off of enemies. People got trade banned left and right for that. It was rough. So I've acquired all of the Coda weapons, and none of the rolls this week are very good, so okay. I'm just doing this instead. So they buy plat instead, for real. I feel like this tile set, I'm surprised it's so old now. Jovian Concord was like 6 years ago, but damn, I think this was probably the best tile set rework we ever got in 2025. Yeah, my apologies, I didn't have a Prime Sure-Footed equipped. I'm not a real high-level Warframe player. Irradiating your squad is real support. Fucking... Okay, I think I've told this story multiple times, but I'm going to tell it again because it still lives in my head rent-free. Back when I first... You bitch. I hate this capture target, dude. We're gonna have to wait for him to, you know, touch down. Ground control to Vapus capture target. There we go. So... He kept him banned? Oh, okay. So I'm not super familiar with Baker's situation personally, but... So, on the topic of the radiation thing, back when I first started playing this game on PC in 2016, because I started on console in 2014, and played into 2015, took a break for a bit, and when I got my computer, I switched to PC. And me and my cousin Nick played a lot together at the time. He doesn't play the game almost at all anymore, which, you know, fucking story of my life with friends that play this game, but... When we were playing back then, this was before Ash got his, like, first major set of changes, and so he still had what people called cutscene mode Ash. So, cutscene mode Ash was, you guys might know this now, where, like, if you have enemies marked by Bladestorm and then you press 3, he'll, like, Ash will join the Bladestorm, right? And he'll start, like, hitting the enemies himself. That used to be just how the ability worked. You'd press 4 and you'd just hit everyone in the room, everyone near you, you would just attack. It was really boring, and I'm glad it got changed. But the reason I bring that up is because we were doing a public lobby sortie, because Nick and I both were not good enough at the game at the time to do sorties by ourselves, but they were basically the game's endgame content at the time. And it was a radiation hazard sortie. It was an exterminate. And we had an Ash on our team, who team killed us all, probably in the ballpark of like 20 or 30 fucking times. This... Like, actual... I feel like there was a chimpanzee playing the game. Unironically, it's like the meme with, like, the juice stimulus response mechanism bar, right? This guy would not stop fucking spamming his 4, and he wiped the floor with all of us over and over and over because he would not stop pushing the fucking button. And it's still makes me mad when I think about it. Because we were all begging him in the text chat to just fucking stop, and he wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
It was so annoying. God, like I said, he killed all of us so many times. With my sister, if she's adopted, I'm not answering. There sounds like a site. Like, this was so long ago, almost 10 years ago now, but something similar. I was doing a Kuva Lich at one point, and I can't remember who I was playing, but my Kuva Lich spawned in, rad-procced me, and I one-shotted the defense objective and failed the mission instantly. It was so fast, my Lich didn't even actually appear. And I remember, I was like, for like 10 seconds, I sat there silent, because I had no idea what the fuck just happened. I was like processing, like, why did I just lose the mission? And then I'm like, oh my god. Like, once it clicked in my brain that my Lich spawned and literally immediately hit me with radiation, costing me to kill the objective, I was like, you're fucking shitting me, dude.
Hell yeah, bro.
I got clowned on hard as hell. I'm not even gonna deny it. Give us enemies that do radiation. Aren't there a few? The main thing... Okay, so I need to let you all in on a forbidden practice I partake in. I mentioned earlier, Nick doesn't play the game that often, but whenever he does, we have this tradition. If we do anything in the Void tile set, I have a piece of cursed information for you all. The Void tile set's lasers have a small chance to proc radiation. So what we would do is we would try and get away from the rest of the group and get a rad proc and then chase other people down and kill them before it expired. And this, like, devolved into this game of, like, breaking laser plates that your teammates were using to get rad so that they couldn't do it and trying to get rad yourself so you could kill them. It was pretty stupid, but pretty fucking funny. It is entirely dependent on your tiles, though. Can Grendel still eat other players? I didn't try it at the time, actually. I think we were doing stuff like I was using Gara to make people vitrified and shit like that, just to piss them off. Good time. Hidden, yeah. Radiation hazard sorties are what I like to call real PvP. That's PvP if you're not one of, like, the Conclave people. It's the PvP for the rest of us, functionally.
Yeah.
More ways to intentionally... Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you all. More ways to rad proc ourselves is actually a terrible idea because of the potential for trolling. Like, I think that's the main reason that they don't have more of it in the game. Also, thanks for stopping by, Sci-Fi. Because the potential to troll people is massive. Like, yeah, the radiation off of the lasers is a thing you can abuse, but the lasers deal a shit ton of damage. So, like, not dying when you're trying to do it is fairly challenging if you're not, you know, like, going in with, like, a setup for it in mind. And even beyond that, your teammates can very easily stop you. They can just break the radiation laser, you know, the laser plate. I think that if they were to make it so you could rad proc yourself, like, easily or consistently, it would just result in people team killing constantly in public lobbies. And public lobbies in this game are bad enough. That should not happen. Deal quite little damage. They deal enough damage to kill you fairly quickly, at least in my experience, if you're not, like, ready for it. If you abuse, like, your shield gate window and stuff, it's very much tolerable. It's not like you're gonna, you know, die immediately or anything, but if you're not ready for it, it can deal a considerable amount of damage. Any thoughts on Brozyme? Not really. I don't watch him, and I never really have, so I don't really... I don't know if there's anything that, like, if Brozyme is embroiled in some controversy or something and that's prompting the question, I wouldn't know about it, but just overall, I don't particularly care. I don't watch many other Warframe content creators, so a lot of that stuff... The only reason I even commented on the Nightmare Frame thing earlier was because a lot of people in my community were talking about it, which is how I found out. Because normally... Okay, well, never mind. My Authentic's blast radius is shit. Any thoughts on Cool Kid 369? I hate that guy, to be honest. Pretty bad, Any thoughts? No.
Mood.
Involving Steve Sinclair. Did he change the lighting engine again? Any thoughts on me? You're pretty cool, great. People have been trying to find out if you're actually real or not for like 10 years. The answer is no, by the way. Great Prime was a massive psyop. It didn't actually exist. or just a CP status and that's it. I think they're probably going to go a similar route as they have with like Electric, where instead of buffing it directly, they'll give it more utility. Universal Fallout is kind of like their first foot in the door with that, but like personally, I think Radiation being a crowd control status is fine, but I can see them adding like more synergy items to give it more function outside of that. Do you have radiation in your blood? I do not. Not as far as I'm aware, at least. Cool Kid Warframe Sloth Daily? Probably not. Like, okay, I've been talking enough that I'm already getting a little bit winded, but we're about to talk some shit, let me put it that way. I don't like the, like, daily content slot machine. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't post very often because I'm fucking lazy. Like, I'm not going to act like my videos require so much effort that I can't post more. Like, that's just straight up not fucking true. I could if I really wanted to, but YouTube's not my job, and there's other things I do with my free time. Like, ultimately, this channel is a hobby, right? But the reason I mention that is because, like, I don't want to stoop my content down to, like, daily, like, news or, like, builds that I stole from Reddit or bullshit like that. I try to make things that are different and that are interesting, and I don't want to go down to the level of making stuff that I wouldn't watch. Like, I feel like if I was to... Look, I know that, like, the original thing that prompted this was more or less a joke, but so much of the modern content creation landscape, not just for Warframe, but for everything, is minimum effort, maximum volume. It's like the Twitch meta has just infested everything, right? Minimum effort, maximum volume. That's the objective for a lot of channels. And I don't want to deal with it, like, personally, because it's not something I would watch. It doesn't serve any purpose. There's nothing about it that is interesting to me. But the truth of the matter is it does well enough that people are able to make a livelihood off of it. But that's not what my YouTube channel is, right? I have a job outside of YouTube, and I don't expect that to ever change. I don't think my channel will ever be successful enough that that would ever be different. So, even if I don't post that often, my goal is to make things that are good enough that they don't feel like, you know, replaceable, I guess. Like, don't get me wrong, right? Fundamentally, when it comes to being a YouTuber, especially when it comes to making something like this, as a Warframe content creator, on some level I am replaceable. Like, people don't watch this channel for me. That's just the reality of it when you make videos about a specific game. Like, if one day I posted a video on my channel that was something I would normally make, like, say Weird and Obscure Stuff 16 comes out, and it's someone else doing the voice, but everything else was the exact same, I guarantee you the majority of my audience would not give a shit. Because that's not the point. The content and the subject of the content is fundamentally what matters, not who is making it. And plenty of you might disagree because you're here watching a stream, but you have to keep in mind that, like, I have 38,000 subscribers. This stream has 150 viewers. You're all a pretty narrow slice of my audience at large, and the Warframe, you know, content consumer base at large. So, in the event that, like I said, something like that were to happen, I think that plenty of people would not give a shit so long as the content was still the same. The fact that I'm making it is not the relevant part to them. And I think that that's kind of panned out in other videos I've made as well that aren't Warframe related, where it's like, yeah, they get no views because people don't watch this channel for me. They watch it because I talk about a video game that they play. That's just the nature of the beast, though. Like, I appreciate all of you that watch because I'm the one making these videos, but the reality of the situation is that is not the majority of people. Let me catch up a little bit. Thoughts on this? I think Radiation, I don't know. In my personal opinion, I could definitely see it getting a buff, but I don't really know how I would... One of the tricky things with suggesting stuff is we don't have any way to test it. So, like, I think that's certainly a workable idea, but I think it's difficult to say for sure how good it would pan out because we have no way to know for sure, which is kind of annoying. Wally will buy his own membership once he gets the job. I wish I could gift memberships to specific people, because I would definitely gift a membership to Wally for the meme. Also, I'm sorry, Nitro. I've just realized I've just been playing the game for like the past hour while you've just been sitting and doing nothing. No matter what they talk about. And like I said, I appreciate all of you here that do watch, you know, regardless. But like I said, that's just the reality is that's just not the majority of the Warframe content consumer base. Thoughts on the Titanfall 3 leaks? Bait used to be believable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you all, even if they made Titanfall 3, modern EA would fucking ruin it, so I wouldn't even be that excited.
Yeah.
Because the reality is I know that they would fuck it up. Titanfall 2, part of why it was like... Titanfall 2's post-launch support was actually pretty bad. This is gonna sound like weird, but if you think about it, the game had like a year of post-launch support. All of its maps were either ports from the first game, or the one brand new map, Glitch, was made with pre-existing assets, and we got one new Titan. One new Titan that was also made with pre-existing assets, and like 3 new guns that were all also pre-existing assets.
Was Ronin not post-launcher?
No, Ronin was base game. The only post-launch Titan was Monarch.
Huh.
So like, Titanfall 2's post-launch support was actually pretty bad, because the game wasn't super profitable post-release because its business model wasn't shitty. I don't think they would ever let a game like that happen again.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, even though I think that the game's post-launch content was pretty weak, the game was still phenomenal. Titanfall 2 is probably in my top 10 favorite games of all time. Titanfall 2 is fantastic. It's one of the only multiplayer PvP games where I actually enjoyed the multiplayer PvP part of it. But I don't think it's a game that would be made today under that publisher or under modern Respawn. And yes, it did release at a horrible time. It was, I think, what was it, 2 weeks after Battlefield 1 and 2 weeks before Infinite Warfare or something like that?
Like, bro.
Make a video on Soulframe? Probably not. I've always been much more into science fiction than fantasy. I'll probably still give Soulframe another shake at some point, but... what I have to gift to Wally. There's no way to control how many or who gets them, so you would have to like join a stream where Wally is like the only other person here to like seed the RNG. Ever tried playing? Yes, I have beaten MGR. Metal Gear Rising is a fun game. I haven't beat it on the hardest difficulty. I meant to, but never got around to it. Does attack speed do anything on landslide? I think it does now. I'd have to look at the patch notes, though. I think it's going to be a Souls-like. Yeah, not quite. To Cool Kid 369. I do... Who was it? It was Combi, right? Who kept gifting me memberships for some reason. Like, I'm not unappreciative, but my streams are not something I make with the intention of getting money. Like... I mean, ultimately, I don't make anything necessarily with the goal of getting money. I do YouTube first and foremost because I think it's fun. But, like, I don't monetize my stream. Super chats are enabled, I guess. That was from back when we were doing the new PC fund. And I think I mentioned before that I am saving up to move, which I hope to do before the end of the summer. But that implies that my car stops trying to explode. But that's besides the point. So, like, I'm appreciative of people who are willing to give, but it's not expected of anyone, right? I guess that's something that's kind of important in my mind to make clear. Irish car, yeah, Margaret Thatcher they couldn't get, but by God, they're gonna fucking get me, dude. Holy shit. To give it to me instead. Look, there does come a point where like, if someone gives me like $5, I don't feel that bad about it, because I do that to my friends all the time. Like, it's not, like, I'm appreciative of it, but it's not so much money that I feel bad. When people donate, like, $10 or more, I start to sweat, like, unironically, because it's just like, why are you giving me this much? I remember the biggest donation I've ever received was from Biff Baff Bob. I don't know if he is even around in the community that much anymore, but he donated a lot of money to help with the new PC fund. Like, this channel genuinely would have died if it wasn't for his help. I'm hugely appreciative of all the stuff that he contributed. But during one stream, Biff Baff Boff, just out of nowhere, donated 500 Australian dollars. And that is still the biggest donation I have ever received, and I hope it is never beaten, because I felt terrible receiving that kind of money. You have no idea. Like, I genuinely considered, if it wasn't for the situation with the PC, I would have given it back to him. Just straight up, I would have given it back to him. I felt so bad accepting that kind of money. Because, like, when I make content and it gets money through AdSense, I don't feel bad about that because people aren't paying me, right? I'm not taking anything from my audience. They're watching the video and the ads run, and that's just kind of like a reality of watching, you know, consuming content on the internet as a whole, right? That's how we monetize things. So, like, I don't feel bad if I upload a video that makes money because people aren't actually giving it to me. It's not like, you know, that money is ultimately generated from the advertising, right? From YouTube auctioning off the adverts and then running them on my videos. But, what the fuck? Oh, that was my... Sorry, that was probably a weird noise you all heard. Anyways, it was a... I have an email notifier extension about the 4090. So, back when... People probably don't remember this because it was actually like 3 years ago now. The Cool Kid New PC arc from back in the day was... I used to make all my content on a laptop.
Stay focused.
And that laptop started to have serious issues. It was like 5 years old at that point, so it was kind of expected. But it was hindering my ability to make content massively. Like, my game was stuttering, it was really hard to play, my programs for editing kept crashing. So I just told my community point blank, like, I need your guys' help. This channel cannot continue to function like this. I still made, like, a few smaller videos and streams. And it was difficult because the game constantly would stutter and shit. So it was just like, I need your guys' help. Like, I don't know what else to say, and I feel terrible for asking this, but this channel will not continue to exist in this capacity. Gifted 1 memberships. Mr. Kill Jr. Thank you, Adam. I was really hoping that would be Wally, because that would have been fucking hilarious.
Honestly, yeah.
Prepare to be a millionaire? Yeah, that's not how it works with these things. But... Also, someone asked who's taller, me or Nitro? It's Nitro. Nitro is about 3 inches taller than me.
Apparently, I thought I was like 6 foot. No, I'm like 6'2".
So I don't even remember. I'm 5'9", but it's not like I necessarily like go on my way to measure it. Bye, Cool Kid in chat. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your message. Well, welcome, and then I guess farewell, if implying you're still leaving. Not very tall for a horse. Okay, think about this though. Like,
oh, pony.
That's when you're measuring. Yeah, Nitro's a pony first and foremost. But even beyond that, like that's like standing on 4 legs. Give this man more subs now. Yeah, you've been a member for 1 month. It's been that long already. I feel like just yesterday I remember the first time you were ever in one of my streams. But I appreciate it. But yeah, like for a like, and that's the thing, he's on all 4 legs. If Nitro was on his hind legs, he'd probably be fucking massive.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guess we're gonna find out the hard way. He feels bad about it. Fortunately, 1 membership is only $5. That's not terrible. Once people start to give me too much, maybe we'll have to shut the. I don't actually think I can just turn notification or like one. Okay, is it gonna go to Wally? Oh, we went to Gator Queen. This is kind of fun. It's like we're watching gambling as we speak. Hold on, wait, can I? Dude, I gotta know. Can I donate a membership to myself? I don't think I can in this menu. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone.
Search for the hostage and bring them home.
I have to see if I can gift myself a membership and see if it lands on someone. In the spirit of what's going on right now, I think it'd be hilarious. Hold on. Oh wait, no, this is alright, this is from my other account. For those, I've mentioned this before. Fuck off, you bitch. My CoolKid369 account is not the account that I browse YouTube with, so I have a different one for that. Hold on, I gotta clear these guys out real quick. Poker chip roleplay. Let me just kill this dickhead. As a form of laundering? I don't think so, because it wasn't like the money was obtained illegitimately. Okay, hold on. So yeah, membership? Can I gift one? I can hit join. Oh my god, I can gift a membership. Wait a minute. All right. In the spirit of the meme, hey champ, dad here. Mom is worried and wants you to let go of the hostages. You'll be okay. We will be here for you once you're released from prison. Fuck you, dad. The hostages are my only bargaining chip to get out of this country. I can't give them up. My demands of a bulletproof vest and a helicopter should be met soon. Or I have gifted 1 member. Who's it gonna go? Oh yes! Yes! It went to Wally! Let's fucking go! No fucking way, dude! Holy shit!
Let's go,
Dude, that, like, legitimately, those odds were like 1 in 150! What the fuck? Okay, you guys no one has to gift any memberships anymore. The RNG fucking landed. The RNG landed. No fucking way. Oh my god. Holy shit. Anyways, sorry, I probably peeked the fuck out of my mic, freaking the fuck out there. I did not see that coming. I swear to god, that was not rigged. I genuinely have no control over who gets the membership. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious. Always keep gambling. Always keep gambling.
Exactly, bro.
Can I come out of the wall now? Why would you want to do that? That is like where you live. I like to think Wally okay, question, lore question, cool kid lore question, rather. Does Wally live in my wall, or is Wally, the thing of Wally, like, on the shrine, like a Skype call? And Wally is, like, calling in from the Orb Ballast, because that's where Verminks are from. Quintuple sixes? Yeah, deadass.
There's a heavy unit approaching.
Would be a great laundering method. I don't know if it would be, but I guess, I don't know. I'm no expert in criminal activities. Why am I just killing trash mobs? I'm a fucking idiot. Wally isn't using Skype. Dude, I remember, like, back before Discord, the era of Skype. That's some dark shit, dude. Who even still uses Skype? I wouldn't even say that, like, old people do, because, like, Zoom took over that market. Okay, what the fuck? Oh, duh. I'm getting an email about the fact that I spent $5 for this. What's the lore behind Wally? Wally is... he lives in my dormizone. I got a cold proc there. I was like, why the fuck am I so slow? Wally is a picture of Vermink concept art. Skype is getting axed, damn, dude. Because, like, yeah, boomers, that's the thing. Boomers migrated to Zoom, which is funny, because I'm going to be honest with you all. Zoom's success was entirely because of the pandemic. That app fucking sucks, and has some seriously huge security problems.
Find our prisoner in one of these cells.
Zoom is a piece of shit, let me put it that way. So, the only reason that it blew up as much as it did was because of the pandemic. It is a terrible app.
Yeah.
Protect them at all costs.
As we all learned. Like, thank God I wasn't in like, I graduated May of 2020, so I got out of school during then. I don't doubt that a lot of people... did anyone here? Okay. Quick question for you all. Oh, shit. Where is he? Oh. Quick question for you all. Anyone here have to experience doing high school through Zoom during the pandemic? I got out of it in 2020, so I didn't have to deal with it because it was 3 months after the pandemic started. Did anyone here have to suffer through that? Because I imagine that for a lot of you, it probably damaged what you learned considerably. And it didn't matter? Yeah, damn. Because, like, I've heard from at least a lot of my friends that are, like, a year or two younger than me, that it, like, severely damaged the stuff that they learned.
There's a heavy unit approaching.
I'm just gonna beat this guy up for fun.
Where are the Oimangs, or the fucking...
Oh, the cacti? Those are in the desert region.
Right.
That's on the south of the map.
Explains why I never have enough.
Have to use Zoom, had to use something else, but I forgot what it was. That's probably for the best, because like I said, Zoom was a terrible app. Like, Too Mad, a lot of his original, like, blow-up in popularity was just him infiltrating Zoom calls.
Because it was comically easy to do so, yeah.
Oh, some people were cooked. Yeah. That's fair. My brother's social skills. That's... I can see that. The internet in general, I think, has damaged people's social skills, dude. Like... Okay, this is going to be a bit off the cuff, and I know people are probably going to be like, cool kid, why the fuck are you talking about this? Does anyone feel like the internet has made, like, certain types of... How do I put this? Horny behavior, like, acceptable to the point that it's weird? Does anyone know what what I mean when I say this? Like, people will say shit that God could not extract from me in public Discord chats. It freaks me the fuck out, actually. Shame used to be a thing. Yeah, like, dead ass. Like, I've ranted about this before, but Something that I have been asked several times, and I always find it weird every time that I'm asked, is when people are like, are you a top or a bottom? Like, why would you need to know that information? Why do you care? Like, what? And it's funny, too, because, like, that's what I get for reading the chat. It's funny, too, because the stereotypical... I blame it on the fucking Venom in Marvel Rebels. I mean, that's what turned you into a gooner. Look, the person... You know, I want to, like, keep up the joke that you're my dad, but if I start to... I think people are gonna take me seriously. Anyways. Yeah, sorry, bro. My dad jerks it to twerking Venom. Anyways. When people, like, ask... You know, like, are you a top or a bottom? It's like, why the fuck would you want, like, why do you need to know that information? It's just really weird to me, but it's such a common thing. And like I mentioned this before, the stereotypical perception of something like that is that, like, straight people would ask you that, right? They'd be like, oh yeah, who's the man and who's the woman in your relationship? A straight person has never asked me this question. It has always been other queer people, literally every single time. No, I can be a... Yeah, like... Beat? What the fuck does that mean? The top or bottom talk? Yeah, like, if you're a stream regular, you know I've talked about this before. You should just offer that up like pronouns. Yeah, it should be in your bio, apparently. You need to put in your bio all of your kinks. And on your public Twitter account, on your Google+. I don't think Google+ is even a thing anymore. You have to list all of that information. I've heard about 7 times now. It comes up in conversation weirdly often. My favorite thing that someone said as a counter to that question is who kills the spiders in your relationship. That's actually a very good analog, because if I tell you the answer to that question, you can probably puzzle the rest out yourself. I'd rather die than list that. Deadass. Huggin' Torrid? What the fuck? That's more confusing to me. In my LinkedIn, in my resume, yeah, your new resume section for your kinks. Holy fuck, dude. You guys kill the spider unsubscribing? Okay, who peacefully releases the spider into the wild on a sheet of paper? That would be neither of us. I'm sorry, B. I kill the fucking spider. Who eats the spiders in the relationship? It's like the classic, you know, people on average eat 8 spiders a year, but that's because of Spider Joe, who eats 200,000 spiders a second. Strictly catch and release. I respect that, but I don't know. I'm sorry, everyone. You can think less of me for this. I do not release the spiders. I'm still scared enough of them. I would not do that. For me, it's the feeling of something crawling on my skin. If the spider were to, like, if it were to touch me, mental breakdown, dude. Mental breakdown. I couldn't do it. Goal is to be a spider, George. Yeah, so like I said, Spider George eats 200,000 spiders a minute, or a second. That's where the figure comes from. Just put a glass over it. I mean, I guess that's true.
But then, well, you need to find glassware.
Then I would need, like, but I don't have, like, because I know a common strategy is to slide, like, a sheet of paper under the glass. But I don't have any paper on hand, because I don't print anything. At a butterfly pavilion. Oh, I think I've told this story before. So my grandma is a biologist. Been cleaning up dead spider gunk. I don't think so, because the spider's not a threat to me anymore at that point. It's just dead. Watching the stream from TFF. I feel like you probably have more exciting things to do, but I appreciate your patronage, because that. But
your 5 better than mine.
I also will say that just as like a minor thing, here in the great state of Iowa, we do have one very majorly threatening spider. Not many, but the brown recluse lives here, and that thing is pretty fucking scary. You don't see it super often, but I have encountered a few of them in my lifetime, and just, it's not worth the risk.
There's also, you know, for me, where I am actually, like, deathly allergic to spiders, and I lost my arm as a kid to one, but, you know.
Yeah, that allergy thing are also another reason. Okay, so, on the topic of my grandma is a biologist. Sorry, the rescue target just sliding up from the bottom of the fucking, of the screen is being like, it hurts, help, it hurts. Anyways, So my grandma's a biologist. She has been her entire life. She's actually an expert in mosquitoes of all things. But growing up, she had a tarantula and a hedgehog. The tarantula was the creepiest motherfucker I have ever encountered in my life. Like, he was chill, but that thing scared me as a kid. That thing was fucking big. Like, have you ever witnessed, has anyone here witnessed a tarantula in person? Because, like, videos don't do them justice. They are fucking freaky to be around. Like, here's the thing. So, for me, a large part of what makes me, like, I wouldn't say I have arachnophobia, but I do get uncomfortable around bugs in general for one particular reason. The way they move just freaks me out. My brain cannot process it. Like, bugs in my mind, right? This is gonna sound stupid as fuck, I know. But they move too fast. Does that make sense to anyone else? Like, my brain cannot process that they move that quickly for their size. It freaks me the fuck out. Seeing a tarantula move like that is some nightmare fuel shit. It is freaky as fuck. Because they are huge, and they still move way too fast for their size. Have you seen a house centipede? Yes. Thank fuck I have never seen one in person. Like, I've seen centipedes in person.
Have, like, fucking
but
2 house centipedes in a single fucking tarantula, man.
it's weird, though, too, because, like, lizards move weirdly fast for their speed. They don't freak me out, because they have 4 legs. Once you exceed 4 legs, you start to scare me. That's just how I am, I guess. Once you exceed 4 legs, we have a problem.
Capture them quickly before they escape.
So, that's part of it, I guess, is that, like, spiders and just bugs in general. Like, there was one time I was in the bathroom getting ready to take a shower, and there was a big black spider in the corner of the room. I'm talking, this guy was probably bigger than a quarter. And, huh?
Why'd you have to mention his race?
Just to, like, okay, this is actually irrelevant because I didn't realize it was a spider at first, because he just blended in with the shadow of the corner. There was another one, though, like, out of the closet, like the bathroom closet, was another spider of about the same size. And they started fighting. And I'm gonna be honest with you all. You can make fun of me for this because I'm a massive pussy. I was fucking terrified. These 2 little spiders duking it out. Because, again, they move way faster than you would expect. And to see them move like that was freaky as fuck. I remember just standing there like, I know that I'm not, like, logically, I am fine. These spiders aren't gonna do anything to me. But witnessing this feels unnatural. I can't even see their punches. Yeah, dude, it's like fucking Bruce Lee. I couldn't even see it. Shit was crazy. Spiders fight? That's what I was thinking! I was like, what the fuck am I witnessing right now? No, they were not. They were not. I can assure you they were fighting. Because one of them lost.
Maybe it was okay.
But, like, that shit was freaky. And from that moment on, I just have an aversion, right? I have an aversion. Like, I know that I'm not in any real danger, but the way they move bothers me. They're cute. Yeah, I like, my grandma is actually deathly afraid of rats. Okay. God, I'm just going off on, like, a million tangents this stream. I'm sorry, this is probably kind of boring, but... So, my grandma, not the biologist, the other grandma, the one on my mom's side, is deathly afraid of rats. I don't get it, honestly. I really don't get it. But, like, even just seeing pictures of them freaks her out. So, there was a point in time where my brother Hunter and I had multiple mice show up in our apartment, just kind of out of nowhere. Like, we went, you know, we lived in this apartment for over 4 years before this started happening, never encountered one, and then all of a sudden we had 4 of them in the span of about a month. Not sure how that even happened. I made the joke that it was actually the same one every time, but we kept releasing them like multiple miles away, so it realistically couldn't have been. But whenever we would catch one of the mice, we would send a picture to my grandma to mess with her. But yeah, because I got into the habit of naming them. So, the first one was... What were their names? The first one was Master Splinter. I remember that. The second one was Remy Ratatouille. The third one was Stuart Little. The fourth one... God, what's his name? It's the rat from Bear in the Big Blue House. I can't think of what his name is, but that was the name of the 4th rat. So... And, like, yeah, whenever we would, You're just evil. Like, it's a picture. My grandma's not in any danger seeing a picture of a mouse. We just thought it was funny. But yeah, we released all of those mice. Dude, this is someone I don't talk to anymore, but a former friend of mine told us a story about how he caught a big-ass rat in his attic. Nitro, you probably remember this because it freaked us all out. Tutter, yes, Tutter, that's his name, thank you. But he caught a big-ass rat in his attic, and they killed it with a brick. Like, dude, what? What do you mean you killed the rat with a brick? Like, that crosses territory into psychopathy, if you ask me. Like, if you were to kill the rat by, like, suffocating it or something, like, that's still horrible. But you killed it with a brick? Like, when I was a kid, there was a mole that got into our house, and my parents didn't know it was a mole, and when it got caught in the mouse trap, because my dad thought it was a mouse, it mortally wounded it. Like, the mole was going to die. So my dad put it out of its misery by shooting it through the head with a .22. That kind of thing I get, because, like, it was gonna die anyways. My dad was putting it out of its misery. Crushing the rat with a brick? What the fuck? That still haunts me. Like, what do you mean you crushed? Like, all I hope is that it died in one hit, right? I hope that he OHKO'd it. If the rat shield-gated it to prolong its suffering, that would be horrible. But, it's like, I don't know about anyone else here. Oh my god, wait, have I... Okay. Stream regulars will know. Have I told the story of the rat, or of the bat, when I was a kid? The bat that was in my house. Does anyone here know what I'm talking about? Or should I tell this story again? Because this one is kind of fucking insane. No, the bat. B-A-T. Let me quit crossing my words. Okay, I don't think I've told this story before. So, this was when I was very young. I was probably like 5 or 6. I only remember a little bit of this. It's insane to say, but you're right. It's true. Anyways, I was very young when this happened, like 5 or 6, so I don't personally remember it. But my dad told me this story years later because he was involved, so that's how I know about this.
Oh, this one, I love this story.
Here's what I remember from when this happened as a kid. Like my mom, I remember hearing my mom scream from up in the attic, and she got all of us kids, and she took us out to the car, and we sat in the car for like half an hour, outside the house, and then we were allowed to come back in. As a kid, I thought it was weird, but I didn't really think much of it, because I was like 5 or 6, like it wasn't really high on my priority list, I barely remember this. So here's what actually happened, according to my dad. My mom was cleaning the attic, and there was a bat in there. And rightfully so, this freaked my mom the fuck out, because bats can carry rabies. And if you get, like, being bit by a bat can be almost imperceptible, but rabies will kill you. So my mom didn't know if it was rabid or not, so she evacuated us all from the house and told my dad to do something about it. My dad couldn't do it alone, so he got our neighbor to help. Now, important context about this. Our neighbor was a member of the church. My dad was a pastor at the time. He was the youth pastor, but he knew my dad because he was a pastor through the church. So, we knew our neighbor fairly well. Our neighbor was also an ex-con. He converted to Christianity while he was in prison. This will be relevant later. So, my dad and our neighbor went up into the attic, and I think they used like a broom or something to goad the bat out of hiding, and they caught it in a pillowcase. Now, they didn't know what to do with it, because they didn't know if the pillowcase was going to hold against the bat, because, you know, bats have claws. And they didn't know how they were going to release it, because we lived in a pretty dense neighborhood, so they didn't know what to do with the bat, and they didn't know how much time they had to figure that out. Because if the bat broke out again and, like, attacked one of them, that would be very bad. So, our neighbor... This part is so fucked up. Our neighbor takes the pillowcase from my dad, and he looks at my dad and goes, "Pastor Mark, please look away and don't think of me differently for what I'm about to do." And my dad is like, okay. So my dad turns around, and my neighbor starts punching the pillowcase full force over and over and over again until the bat stops moving. And my dad, rightfully so, was fucking horrified. He was like, I told him I wouldn't think differently of him. I did.
Oh, God.
Because, like, holy shit. Lay on slide build. Oh my god, dude, holy fuck. Because, like I said, like, they didn't know if the bat was rabid, so, like, I get the rationale of killing the bat. They didn't know what to do with it, and they didn't know how much time they had to make that decision. But he... What the fuck is blinding me right now, dude? Holy shit. Anyways. But, yeah, he just fucking beat the bat to death with his bare fucking hands through the pillowcase. Should have used the brick? Yeah, maybe. So, like I said, that story is, like, funny because I'm so far removed from it, but also fucking crazy. Like, holy shit. He had to build his combo up. Like that's why I mentioned that my neighbor was an ex-con. Like, that's why that was relevant to the story. So, that bat fucking died. The wall, floor. I'm honestly guessing because there was a risk that the bag would tear. Like, if you're swinging around the bat violently, there's a risk that it will tear open the bag. If you punch it, most of the force will be transferred into the bat, not the pillowcase. Bro's restraint was gone. Like, yeah, like, as far as I'm aware, our neighbor was a good guy. Like, he never relapsed or anything like that. He stayed with the church even after we moved. He had a moment of anger against that fucking bat, right? He channeled what he had to get that thing
I know what I must do.
dealt with. Average brutal tide user. Look, he was building up his Firax in Karnan. Filthy Frank the bat. Jesus Christ. Bro was the Joker. Like I said, like, that's something, I don't remember that story at all, because I was so young, but my dad telling it to me when I was a teenager was fucking crazy, because I was like, that's what happened that night? Because, like, yeah, I remembered it, but, like, not that much. Let's find a bat to brutalize. Yeah, it's like every time he has a violent thought, it's like a serial killer, but instead of his fix from killing, like, normal people, or, like, you know, couples, like Ted Bundy or some shit, he has to go find and fucking brutalize a bat. Fucking crazy shit, dude. Actual Baruch moment is a sentence of all time. Look, I'm just trying to explain things here. I think he might be a Belmont. That is possible. I never thought... He didn't use a whip, though. So, then again,
as a whip.
whipping the bat would probably be pretty difficult. They are pretty small. Yeah, he did a fucking glory kill on the bat. So yeah, that neighbor was actually pretty cool, because I remember as well, like, we would visit their house sometimes, green heron pronouns. And, like, my brother and I, he would, like, show us video games, because when we were young, we didn't really play that many violent video games, because our parents were, like, religious fucking freaks. So, shout out to my neighbor for, like, showing my brother Hunter and I stuff like, Battlefield Bad Company and whatnot growing up, because we didn't know that kind of shit existed. Like, I remember as a kid, I was genuinely, like, enthralled with the fact that he was able to use voice chat to talk to other people over the internet. That blew my mind as a kid. I didn't know that kind of thing existed. Oh, holy shit, I have no overguard, no bitches, no hoes. I have the bug where I'm walking to the left.
Oh, no.
But... So, like, yeah, like, he was a cool neighbor overall, but, like, yeah, I'm sorry. My perception of him also changed a little bit hearing that story. That bug isn't just me. No, sometimes the game will just decide I'm walking in one particular direction now. What did he do to go to prison? I've got no idea. My dad never told me. And honestly, that's probably for the best. Because, I guess it was never really relevant. Like, I never knew him, like, for that, if that makes sense. Like, as a kid, like, why would I need to know that? Also, hang out with an ex-con. He had gotten out of prison, like, 10 or 20 years before we had even met him. Like, for reference, I think he had his daughter after he left prison, and his daughter was in her 20s when I was a kid. So, it's not like he was, like, recently got out of prison kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also, generally speaking, at least at that church, the Christians there tried to be as accepting as possible to people. Because, you know, Christian belief, generally speaking, if they're not being awful people, tries to dictate, you know, helping people who have previously sinned find God. And that was a pretty important objective of the church. That was why my dad was a youth pastor, actually, was he was trying to help the kids in, like, lower income parts of the neighborhood better their lives through, you know, religious teaching, obviously. And... we, like, ran food drives and stuff. Like, when I was a kid, we had an RV that my dad bought, and he would pick up all of the kids that were in the youth group, and we would go like do food drives and stuff like that. So it was a good church overall, actually. I don't know what it's up to these days. I don't even remember what it was called, honestly. But no, those were fun times in my life. And yes, this was okay, how do I put this? This was after my dad was hooked on meth the first time. Insane. You'd be surprised. Like, a lot of churches I had gone to growing up, because my parents, like, beg your pardon? Not important. People who weren't here for the Cool Kid Dad lore stream don't need to be privy to this information. Anyways, so caught me very off guard. It has that effect on people. The Bat story has that effect on people. But also, I have successfully beaten up my sister. Maybe I need to change the title. But Dad's stream was insane. Yeah, that's true. That's why I'm not repeating the lore, because people were made genuinely uncomfortable by the stuff I talked about on that stream, and it's like, I'll just let sleeping dogs lie on that one. Bat stream, instead of beating up my sister, it's just beating up a bat with my bare hands. And the VOD is still around, but I don't remember what it's called. Anyways, what the fuck was I talking about? That threw me for a loop. The churches, right. I moved a lot as a kid. And my parents were very religious. Like, my dad was a pastor at a lot of different churches growing up. And on top of that, okay. To put this into perspective for how religiously crazy my parents were, growing up, I was not allowed to read any book that was not the Bible or something for school. I was also not allowed to listen to any music that was not explicitly Christian. Like, I remember my cousins, because there was a period of time where we lived very close to my cousins, and my cousins, like their dad, so my uncle, would gather them all up every weekend and read them a chapter from the book series Guardians of Ga'Hoole. Do you guys know what with the owls and whatnot? I don't think it's very big anymore, but it was pretty big back then, actually. And I remember as a kid, like, being enamored by the concept, and also afraid that my dad would be pissed if he found out this was happening. Because that was the type of like religious nut my dad was. Like, he didn't want me reading literally anything else unless it was something school related. Now, obviously, that didn't last forever, but always make gay kids. It happens, right? It happens. I should read it further. Yeah, like, I'm just gonna execute that hound. Which VOD is Dad's stream? I don't fucking remember. Did you watch Bible Man? Yes, I did watch Bible Man. In fact, alright, this is gonna be fucking crazy that I have something for this. You wanna see some crazy shit? You wanna see some crazy shit? Which one is it? Look at this. I have a Bible Man Ash cosplay. This was a recurring joke between my cousin Nick and I when we started playing the game. When he first got Ash, he did this because he also watched Bible Man. And so we started to both play the game as Bible Man, and then it made a brief resurgence when this guy was added, because now I could actually wield the Bible. So, yes, crazy shit. Crazy shit. Yeah, like, dude, Bible Man is one of those weird things where, like, if you grew up as, like, a Christian kid, it's like this weird shared thing. Because, like, Bible Man is not one of those things that's known outside of, like, that type of space for a lot of people. It's like, there's lots of Christian media that did escape the Christian sphere, so to speak. Like, VeggieTales is a great example. Plenty of people didn't even realize VeggieTales was an explicitly pro-Christian show, which I think is hilarious.
Somehow.
Like, I don't get how people like my friend Lucy didn't realize it was Christian. The whole point of the show is telling fucking Bible stories. But there's plenty of media that escaped the Christian sphere, right? Bible Man, though, didn't. Like, if you know about Bible Man, you probably had that kind of upbringing, and that makes it way funnier when someone knows about Bible Man, because you can just immediately, like, pin down a shit ton of information about them off of that alone. Cool Kid was cool having the theory of evolution. Thank you for the 5, Mr. Kill Jr. Real and true. Do you want anything from the dealer's den? Not particularly, but, like, I appreciate the offer. Do they have any titty mouse pads? No, I'm just kidding. So, okay, for those of you who don't know who Bible Man is, let me get a picture of Bible Man. So there's a lot of Bible Man lore. Superhero wiki. Okay, I wouldn't consider him a superhero, more of like a menace, to be honest with you. But that's besides the point. So Bible Man lore time, everyone. We're dipping our toes into the Bible Man lore. So, for those of you who haven't seen Bible Man before, this is Bible Man. This is Bible Man. So I want to address the elephant in the room. According to the creator, he vehemently denies that this is a lightsaber. He says over and over this is its own original thing. It is not a lightsaber. So we're going to have to trust him on that. This is not a lightsaber. This is a lot to take in. I know. So this is not a lightsaber. Also, he wears the armor of God. That's why there's the crosses and stuff on it. Hold on, I need to get the red arrow out for comedic effect again. That's why there's the crosses and stuff on it, like on the arm piece here. And he would always recite the... Like, does anyone here... Okay, if people aren't Christian, this has to sound fucking insane. Because the armor of God is like a real thing in Christianity. It's more of like a rhetorical thing, or like a metaphorical thing, I guess is the word for it. It's not meant to be interpreted literally, but Bible Man literally wears the armor of God. So, one of my favorite parts of the show, genuinely, is that Bible Man would recite Bible verses, and then stuff would just happen, and it's like... Dude, I don't even know how to put this into words. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna pull you all on this right now. Do you guys want to do a Bible Man watch party in the Discord sometime? We can bring back the movie night rule. You guys want to watch Bible Man in the Discord sometime?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I think that would be fun. We should do a Bible Man movie night. I think that'd be hilarious, actually. Bible Man is some crazy shit. And I think it would be... He had incantations, dude, dead ass. But... Yeah, and here's the weird thing, too. There are multiple versions of Bible Man. Let me see if I can actually find the original Bible Man. Because the one I'm showing you is the one I remember. There was a 3D animated remake, which I never watched, and I heard it was pretty bad. Okay, this file name is Bible Man Mark 1. That makes this even funnier. This is the original Bible Man. Bible Man Mark 1. Look at this fucking guy, dude. Look at this costume. If you thought the first one looked cheap... Look at this piece of shit. Yeah, I'm sorry to anyone who didn't know about this until now. This is the original. This is like proto-Bible. This is the Bible Man proto-frame right here. That's some Spirit Halloween-ass fit. Yeah, this kind of shit is why fucking Party City went out of business, dude. So, it's pretty fucked. Why the purple and yellow? I don't know why they felt the need to do this. Looks like a bad porno remake. I can see that. So yeah, this is the original Bible Man. And then I'm not going to show the 3D one because who gives a shit. Bible Man also had there was a Bible girl, obviously. There was his black sidekick, Cypher, for diversity reasons, of course. And Eunice, who was like a talking computer. That's all I remember about the show, like, off the top of my head. It was pretty weird, I'll tell you that much. It like, okay, production quality-wise, it was very similar to Goosebumps, actually. You guys remember the original, like, Goosebumps series from back in the day? It was a lot like that. It was a lot like Goosebumps. I didn't want to not show it. It looks terrible. I don't want to show it because it pisses me off. Bible Man got ruined by DEI. God damn, dude. What he did after the capture of Jerusalem in 1099. I don't think Bible Man would have existed yet because I don't think the Bible existed yet. Like, proper, at least. Not being able to mod multi-shot. It depends, but a lot of precision weapons actually do benefit from it a lot. Like, I know Velt is apparently very good with it.
Velt with what?
Primary acuity.
Ah.
I have a cross guard. You know, that's completely fair, actually. I've never even thought about that. Crazy popular in Japan? Are you fucking with me? Please tell me you're fucking with me right now. I refuse to believe that until I'm sent proof. Bible Man thoughts on the Exalted rework. But yeah, so there's your Bible Man lore. Like I said, there's like weird, obscure pieces of Christian media. And Bible Man's one of the big ones. Because, like, what was the other one? It was the film about Moses leading people out of, like, out of Egypt. What was it called? Prince of the Nile, I think? That was a fantastic movie. And it also was
It's a beautiful movie, honestly. Unironically, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
still very big outside of its target audience. Yeah, Prince of Egypt, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Still very big outside of its target audience, you know, being primarily Christians. I mean, I guess if you are Jewish, that story would still apply to you, and I'm pretty sure Islam also still believes that that happened, but you get what I'm talking, right? The U.S. is a majority Christian country, so that was the target audience, at least here, but Prince of Egypt was a great movie that also kind of left the Christian sphere. Leave that man alone. Dude, I fucking love that meme.
Yeah.
But I'm just staring at my loadout menu. What the fuck am I doing? So, I'm trying to think. Bibleman Analog Horror Series, that would be fucking fire. Someone needs to tell Alex Kister or someone like that to get on it. For underperforming on its development? Yeah, that's crazy too. Getting that, the whole thing with like getting Shrek and Lord Farquaad was based on one of the executives, and it was supposed to sound like Lord Fuckwad because they all hated him. Dude, Shrek's development story is actually nuts. In Islam too. I'm pretty sure. I think that's correct because like as far as I look, I want to make something clear. I am no religious expert, but I did take a class on world religions in high school. So I have a little bit of knowledge, and as far as I'm aware, the monotheistic religions, so Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, to my knowledge, all agree the Old Testament happened. It's just what happened afterwards that they disagree on. Like, Islam believes Jesus was a real person, but he wasn't the Son of God. He was just a prophet. Obviously, Christians believe that Jesus was the Son of God, and I don't believe that Judaism really considers Jesus to be anyone important. Or that the New Testament is even like a valid religious text at all. But I'd have to ask Aidan. He's our resident expert.
Yeah.
That the community tends to have. It do be that way. Jesus split everyone up. It be like that. Yeah, the Abrahamic religions. That's the term I was thinking of. Neon Genesis Evangelion, dude. The only thing I know about Catholicism is Blasphemous. I played Blasphemous for like 2 hours. That's all I need to know about Catholicism. Okay, real talk, everyone. Does anyone else think it's kind of lame? Okay, weird ass take incoming. Does anyone else think it's kind of lame that we don't have more games or like media that uses Christian iconography? Like, Catholic iconography kind of goes fucking crazy. Like, Blasphemous does it really well. But it's like, I wish we had more things that use like that kind of architecture and stuff. It's actually really fucking cool. Like I said, weird take, I know, but I don't, like, after playing Blasphemous, I was like, shit, dude, like, why isn't there more stuff like this? Evangelicals would get pissy about it. They get pissy over everything. We can, look. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chris Pratt is an evangelical, so we're completely allowed to piss them off. Look, to some extent, all denominations of Christianity will have a thing that makes them mad. You're gonna have to live with it. With the Christian theme, one that Wendigoon covered, probably. Make good characters from. I still feel like you can do a lot with the iconography of it, though, right? Like even beyond like gods, as in like plural, and like there is still stuff that most of like the media that has some root in Christian belief is stuff with hell involved, right? Hell, demons, you know, your Doom, your Ultra Kill, your fucking hell of a boss, I don't know. Those types of things. But I'm talking like, you know, Catholic churches and like the like sort of rituals almost that they do. Because like the Catholic Church believes in shit like black magic. Like there's a lot of mysticism in sort of, what would you call it, high level end game Catholicism. I don't know, wasn't Supernatural mega Christian inspired? I wouldn't know, to be honest with you. Binding of Isaac 2. Oh, Faith. Yeah, Faith Faith isn't necessarily Catholic, though, is it? It's kind of more generically Christian. I don't think it's a Catholic thing, is it?
Or something. They mentioned the Vatican, I know.
Maybe, yeah, I would say, I have only played Chapter 1. If it is more, like, explicitly...
What I'm about to do has not been approved by the Vatican goes so hard.
If it is more explicitly Catholic, then I just probably haven't progressed that far. That shit was wild. I mean, that's... Communion is a symbolic thing, though. Like, good night, thanks for stopping by. Like, okay, look, we're getting into Christian lore because I grew up, and more evil than it actually is, which is funny because my, what's the specific denomination? anyone here who is a
I am
Christian
either.
will immediately think less of me when I say this. My parents were Pentecostal. Now, before you ask, no, I never saw anyone handling snakes. They were all, they had the decency to not abuse animals at any church I ever went to. But that, Pentecostals, for those who don't know, all right, Christianity lore time. Christianity lore session. Back in the day, the Catholic Church was basically the authority on religion. I think there was like the Greek Orthodoxy too, but it was mostly the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church doesn't have a great track record historically. They would do stuff like make you pay to get into heaven or pay to get your loved ones out of hell, other stupid shit like that. So this one guy, I don't know why I can't think of his name. I think it was Martin Luther was his name, was like, you know what? Fuck this. And so he has a very infamous document called the 99 Reasons, which was all of his complaints with the Catholic Church, and he nailed it to the door of one of their churches. And so this started something called the Protestant Reformation. Yeah, the 95 Theses, that's what the document was called. This started what was called the Protestant Reformation, where a bunch of people split off into their own sort of what we call denominations of Christianity. So you have a bunch of different subsets that all broadly believe the same thing, but with some minutia. Like, it all ultimately stems from, like, some belief in the Bible, but there's a lot of, like, smaller differences between, like, Pentecostals or Baptists or what have you. Only because it was the closest one. Would read the birth of Jesus around Easter and Christmas for me. They were just cool stories. Fair enough. The European Religion War, yeah, I think it was the 30 Years' War. I think that's correct. That's so many ships, and we don't even know if they're the originals, because that's the crazy thing. None of them are, like, it depends on your perspective if any or none of them are the ship of Theseus. To go to heaven? Not necessarily, but, like, kind of. So, was Lucifer in the right? No. Like, even beyond, what would you call it? Like, revisionism, I guess. Lucifer is still very much a bad guy in the Bible, like, no matter how you slice it. Christianity and Warframe when? What if I told you? Well, I switched to the Bible man loadout when you say that. So I never fused my Tetra, but... Okay, what if I told you... This build is fucking awful, don't look at it. What if I told you this shit's so ass? You want a Christian Warframe, do you? Harrow is actually based on Catholicism. That's like, I'm not even like being facetious or something when I say that. That is genuinely his inspiration. Harrow is not Jesus, but he is based on like several elements of Catholicism. They did a more in-depth talk about it back when he was new, but like I know that like the Thurible was based on like incense burning and things like that. I also feel like there is the subtle storytelling that Baruch is a Christian. That is, he hates himself because he secretly likes being pegged. I've explained my theory for this before. I'm not going to do it again to make people even more upset, because you're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about, cool kid? And I'm just not going to clarify. Anyways. Yeah, there's all the whats. Like I said, it's funnier if I don't explain this. Anyhow. Has shoes instead of toes? Yes, it's a modesty thing. How it relates to Catholicism? That's fair. I guess it makes sense. I get it. One person... He's spitting, though. I'm a Harrow main. I don't know how to tell you this, but you are gay. Red confirmed in the AMA. Real and true. Real and true. I thought he was a Shaolin monk. The monk theme goes to Baruch. That's what he was supposed to be. What does that make me? I don't think I can say it on YouTube.
Join the fucking call. We'll tell you later. Don't.
In their basement reel, by the way. Yeah, Catholicism. That sounds really cool. Going to Valencia Cathedral, but so many areas that are like so many. Like, dude, I'll tell you this. Growing up as a kid, Protestant churches are not shit. okay? Protestant churches suck ass compared to Catholic churches. Those things are works of art. They took that shit seriously. Like, this is the house of God, bitch. We are not
Shit.
fucking around. Dude, like, Pentecostals would hold their church sessions in, like, a fucking warehouse if you allowed them to. Catholic people will commission the greatest artist of their time to, you know, paint an angel on the ceiling to symbolize their connection with God and shit. It's crazy.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm in the same. I'm in this degree. I think I'm on the last portal. I got fucking for the extra. What's the room marrow? I got what's the excavation and then exterminate, and now I got excavation again. I didn't think that was possible.
If you're doing the optional side portals, you can get repeat game modes.
Fucking hell.
300 fucking years to be finally finished, but like it's worth it though. Like it's worth it. You look at the Catholic churches, like damn, that bitch is a work of art. That shit goes crazy. This is the house of God, bitch. You know what I mean? An abandoned apartment complex? Dude, that's so fucked. So long as you're genuine. I mean, that's true, but, like, Catholics take that shit seriously, and I respect that. They have an aesthetic to them. They have a flair to them that I fuck with. You guys want to see something cool? People might know where this is going. You want to see something cool? Check it. Anyways, someone needs to MS Paint Atlas feeding a bat through a pillow. Oh my god, dude. It's not done? Yeah, because they're not fucking around, Wally. That's the thing. They're taking their time. They're building a masterpiece over there. Not covered for like 500 years by a new roof? Damn. If taking photos in the Sistine Chapel, you shouldn't have confessed that publicly.
Oh,
I guess they fucking hate me. Real. I think that there's some restrictions on it.
Interesting.
Dude, okay. I have a new goal in life. Does anyone here know about the Vatican Secret Archive? Does anyone here know what I'm talking about?
No, because there wouldn't be a secret archive otherwise.
Well, like, the only thing that we know really is that it exists. The Vatican has an archive full of knowledge that is kept from the public. A big part of this is for one reason. It was Pope... what was his name? Like Basilicus or something. He was the Pope during World War II. And he did a lot of dealings with Nazi Germany. And a lot of documents about that are kept in the archive. Because they obviously don't want people knowing about that. So there's like, people make conspiracy theories about other shit that's in there. Like, you know, dark magic tomes or other dumb bullshit. I think it's mostly just correspondence, with the Nazis. I can't think of who it was in particular that was in power at the time, but if someone could look it up for me, Hitler's Pope, damn, that's actually kind of fire. If someone could look up for me who the Pope was that dealt with Hitler, I can't think of his name, but... Oh, Pius. Okay, because the P was a lowercase, I thought that you had misspelled a word. Before they consecrated it? That kind of goes crazy, actually. Dude, Mormonism is so bizarre, like, for a lot of reasons. I'm not saying that in, like, a bad way, but, like, my friend Tux is Mormon, and he's kind of explained, like, some of the intricacies of it, I guess, to us. But there's so much stuff about it that I think is interesting. Did you guys know that the Mormon Church is one of the biggest land-owning organizations in the United States? Like, I think they're in the top 10. Like, the Mormons own a shit ton of property, like, as an organization. It's kind of nuts. They also have... Because, like, Mormonism... compared to... Dude, I've just spent the last half an hour not even playing the game. The entire state of Utah. Yeah, dead ass. But Mormons basically are like Christianity too. They believe in the Book of Mormon, which recounts like Jesus's journey through I think it's through North America specifically, after the events of the New Testament. Like, instead of just going to heaven and like fucking off after he came back, according to Mormonism, he showed up here and did some stuff, and then he fucked off. But
for some reason, I thought you were gonna say North Dakota. I don't know why.
yeah, Jesus went to North Dakota specifically, and then he left. Atlas punching Voska Kavats? That would be pretty funny. They have... Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about, the special underwear thing. There is a sort of misconception about Mormonism that I find very interesting, and let me explain the belief for this first, before I explain the magic underwear thing. So, Mormons have this belief in what's called like a protective item, essentially, where they believe that they have like they can wear certain items that will protect them because they're like blessed. For most of them, this is something you would wear under your normal clothes, and so a lot of them would wear like an undershirt or something like that as their like spiritually significant item, right? It's kind of like if you think of it like the hijab and stuff in Islam. It doesn't serve the same purpose, but kind of like the same vague idea of like it's a religious garment. They wear it for religious reasons. So this has evolved into what I think is a really funny rumor that the Mormons wear special underwear or magic underwear. I think that shit is really funny because it's not like not really the truth, but like it's not too far removed from the truth. I can see how you'd arrive at the conclusion. Let me put it that way. Like every other denomination, I would have to ask Tux why specifically they have like that sort of separate belief, but it's true they wear magic underwear. Like I don't doubt for some of them their like blessed garment, so to speak, is their underwear or something like that, but I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, but I also think it's really funny. You only go to hell if you're an apostate-based Grand Wizards. Dude, I didn't realize. Did you guys know that the leader of the KKK was actually called the Grand Wizard? That was actually his title?
You know it.
Like, what kind of, like... I thought the KKK, like... These people were, like, a significant force in the government at one point in time, and they called their leader the Grand Wizard? It sounds like a thing fucking 5th graders came up with. What the fuck? Are you for real? You didn't know that? Like, I had always heard the term. I didn't realize it was actually what they called themselves until a few years ago. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? That's dumb as fuck. You know what? Because the stream title is what it is, I think I only have Archiplasmor and... Oh, let me look. Can I see my Tenet bonus? I cannot. I mean, the KKK is still around, but not like they used to be. So, Tetra... Okay, it's Tetra, Glaxion, and Plasmor, what I have left. Racists are kind of stupid. I mean, that's true, but... not Steel Path. That's just gonna make my life harder. A GI Robot made sure. God bless. The cake, you're still around. Look, weird time for you to join. I'm gonna be honest with you. Weird time for you to join. So I'm sorry about that. But you know, it is what it is. I guess it is what it is.
I'm probably out of Devere if you want to do something with me.
I'm gonna go ahead and spawn this sister. Well, it depends on what weapon they have. I only have 3 weapons left. What about the KKK I just got here? I was talking about how I thought it was funny that the leader of the KKK's official title was Grand Wizard. I just think that shit's hilarious.
Only one person can get a sister per, like, sister spawn, right?
Huh? Yeah, only one person can spawn a sister at a time. Yes, that's correct. Whoever downs the sister candidate is the one who can do the Parazon finisher on it. I only need to get to 25, so I don't particularly care. Rights for Breitbart? Damn. Yeah, I can see why you would be glad that they don't affiliate with you anymore. I'll put it that way. Okay, I'm at 25. I don't have to care anymore. Also, DE changed the star chart in Techrod Encore. I don't like it, to be honest with you, but they did. Like the worst name I've heard. Yeah, look, we're getting a little bit off track, right? We went from Christianity lore to racist lore. I mean, they're kind of related, I guess, but that's besides the point. It's not relevant. It's not relevant. Also, yeah, they changed the node structure for a few of the early star chart locations. I think up through Mars, and Ceres is no longer on the main star chart path. So, minor tweaking to it. I generally, I don't feel like it was necessary. Talk about pirate lore. I'll admit I'm no expert. Is anyone here an expert on pirate lore? Does anyone here know anything about pirate lore? Ceres discrimination, yeah. Unfortunate reality. Cycron, damn. I have that one maxed. I'm playing Gauss because, I only need the impact ephemera, so I might as well go for it while I'm doing this. Because I only have 3 sister weapons to, well, I guess my Grigori's not maxed, but that's not one I do from, you know, killing the sister necessarily. Like, I can by getting hollow keys, but that's besides the point. My favorite letter is C. Yeah, CD's not... Sorry, that counts for anything? You know, that's pretty close.
Great work. I am pleased with your
That one lesbian pirate who fought with her tits out. What the fuck? Pirates are cool. That's all the lore I have. Like I said, I'm not well read on the pirate lore, so I don't know. I don't know for sure myself. But favorite Tenet weapon? That's like asking me to pick a favorite child. Impact Tenet Grigori. True. Gus Prime. I do like I like Cycron is really fun. I like the Plasmor. I like the Spearex. I like the Agendis a lot. I think it's really cool. I think Exec is fun. I like all of them, honestly. Like, unlike the Coda weapons, where I think DE just straight up cooked nothing on those weapons, I'm very let down by the Coda weapons, personally. The Tenet weapons all rock. I think they're all really cool. I will mauled about the Coda weapons until the day I fucking die, to be honest. Aside from the 3 unique ones we got, they kind of universally are boring. What about the Kuva ones? Like, okay, here's the analogy I'm gonna use for this, right? Like, the Kuva weapons release was like going to McDonald's, or like a little bit higher class. We'll say like going to Arby's, okay? The Kuva weapons are like going to Arby's, right? Like, it's pretty good. It's nothing earth-shattering, but they're pretty good. Some weapons didn't get anything that special, but we got some cool, unique gimmicks, and a lot of them got pretty meaningful stat buffs. So it's like eating at Arby's, right? The Tenet weapons are like going to like a nice, like a Michelin star restaurant. All of them have cool gimmicks or stat changes that make them, you know, meaningfully different. They're a unique experience. The Tenet weapons, that shit rocks. The Coda weapons are fucking ice soup. They cooked nothing with those things. Aside from Motivore, Base Assist, and Torxica, all of them are boring. The only one with a meaningful difference from its regular counterpart is the Catabolist, and you can unironically argue the Catabolist is a nerf. It feels like DE was just like, alright, the Progenitor bonus is going to carry these weapons, and that's lame as fuck. Not a fan. Have I passed a hand yet?
Stay focused. There's a heavy
That's the thing, was a lot of their stat upgrades fucking suck. Like, the Sporothrix's stat upgrades are, like, universally really mediocre. A lot of the stat bonuses they get just aren't impressive. I don't know, not a fan, not a fan. You don't have to farm the Deimos Vaults. Pretty much it. On Hirudo. Like, yeah, dead ass. So many of the statistical changes are just nothing burgers. They don't mean shit. It's so lame. I am probably too late in the run for this to spawn anything, but we'll find out.
Void Rift detected. Graham's realm.
It's quite nice. Like, yeah, but I feel like those are more like convenient stats than anything.
Ready your Zorus if it's equipped. Spectre particle spillover imminent.
No, Coda, yeah, like, that's the thing, too, like, so, like, for reference, right, Kodahima, why did Kodahima not get a gimmick? Like, I have an easy one to suggest right now, just make it fully automatic instead of burst fire. That could have been a very easy way to meaningfully make it feel different than the regular Hema. Also, 20% crit chance is a fucking joke, dude. That's, like, it's workable, but just so underwhelming. The Coda weapons are also MR17, which is fucking wild. They give you the McPickle burger. I didn't order no fucking tomato nader. Wendy's better count they fucking days. Why is the game... Thank you. Probably didn't help them. I mean, kind of, but like, there's still more they could have done. Full auto nowadays, it's less efficient full auto. It was scammed of an in-game currency. Tysis is a good primer weapon, but that's really all it's good for, at least in my experience. Maybe there's some, like, Tysis truther that has done some crazy shit with it, but... Farming the original weapon? Like, yeah, that's fair. I don't think I'm gonna get one. Any spawn? I don't think so.
Stay
Damn,
focused.
too late in the
There's a
mission.
heavy unit approaching.
Damn.
Yeah, fuck. Pox is not good. I actually like the Coda Pox overall. They're not a crazy weapon, but I think they're fun.
Great work. I am pleased with your performance.
Over any other good primer. I think a lot of it comes down to, like, it's good for heat inherit, I guess, for one, especially the Coda variant, but it also has, like, innate corrosive. It's more, like, for if you wanted to prime against, like, a Demolisher or something, right, and you're trying to, nail down, like, one specific enemy, that's what it's best for. If the shots had damage. The Riot does have some stuff. I know Sci-Fi did a video on it recently, but I don't love the Riot. It's not a bad weapon necessarily. I just kind of feel like it's fine, I guess. Feels disappointing. I personally like the Torxica, but at the same time, they are just kind of a downgrade from the dual Toxicist Incarnon. Like, if you have the dual Toxicist Incarnon, you're not going to feel much pressure to use the Torxica. I think they're fun, but they are kind of like if you took the Toxicist and made it so instead of spreading damage, it spread a debuff. Not bad, but nothing crazy either, right?
A Granum Void gateway has been opened. It won't last long.
Back to the Granum Void.
Free stranded Solaris with Thesaurus.
Welcome to hell. All the damage in the reload gimmick. That's the thing, though. It was like you kind of have to build around the reload gimmick. That's kind of the thing. The Riot is not like a traditional weapon. You're not really meant to approach it around making the regular shots do damage. You're supposed to embed them into enemies, and then the damage is when you pull them out. It's kind of like Cantare in that regard, but more extreme, I guess. When you can spread death, that is kind of just the nature of Warframe, unfortunately. Then again, though, like, I feel like, in a game like Warframe, generally speaking, I feel like as long as you're able to, like, get the job done, play with whatever you want, like, if, like, to answer the question on some level of why spread a debuff when, you know, I can just kill things, or, like, why do crowd control when I can just kill things, my response to that is because I find it more fun, and I think that's a perfectly valid reason. Like, I feel like, overall in Warframe, enough stuff is good that I think that you can use whatever you want for any reason you want, so long as you can accomplish the task at hand, right? Some people, like, are obsessed with the idea of, like, things that are best in slot, or, you know, optimizing the fun out of the game, to me, I guess. And it's like, I use whatever, because it's, you know, I use what I find fun. Even if something is bad, this game has enough tools at our disposal that we can make basically anything good. It just is going to take some effort, generally speaking.
Stay focused.
Please give me something I don't have. Flanks? Damn it, I have that one max already. I'm going to get every single thing I already have, aren't I? Freezes Acolytes in place. Metamorphic Magazine is a great mod. I do love that thing. Mars needs something. Yeah, the Mars is in a kind of a shitty spot. 3-meter AoE fucking alt-fire grenade head ass. What the fuck was going on when they made that thing?
Job well
for some sort of AoE. I feel like that's part of like the identity of the weapon is not to spread the damage. I can see what you mean though. Like how sorry, I'm catching up a little bit. To use Cannonade as well. Yeah, because the Mars has an alt fire, so it's not technically a weapon that's What, did you threaten to kill yourself if the synapse could chain? Damn. I respect it. And 2 viable weapons. I am not the first to send an expert. You'll have to ask Kazet about those things. This game fell off. I get why. I get why there isn't the Thermion RPG as a weapon, because it's an item you use in missions.
We received intel
on this stream. Shit, I completely forgot about that. Well, it's a good thing that DE didn't make the synapse chain, I guess. Dude, if I don't get the weapon I want, or like a weapon to use this run, I think I'm just gonna fucking... We're gonna crash out and not beat up my sister anymore. There's a grenade launcher. It is weird to me. Like, I like how the Purgator works. Minus gas damage is, like, finicky nature. But... Did I pass? No, I didn't.
Change of plans.
Not an art gun. Well, like the RPG is a progression item in the boss fight and stuff. It'd probably be kind of confusing if you could have it as a weapon and it was a necessary progression item. I'm just kind of wandering off right now. I got change of plans? Dude, fuck this game for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where the Purgator is like balanced like an AoE weapon, but it's really not one. It's a weird weapon overall.
Hurry.
And you could have 2 RPGs. I mean, that's true, but I still feel like it'd just be kind of confusing overall. To be like, you know, this guy has an RPG that can't do this stuff. I don't know. I would love shoulder-mounted rocket launches as a weapon category in general. That'd be awesome. But I'm fine with a Thermion RPG staying in 1999 as a progression, mission progression sort of item, right? I get why it's there, and I'm fine with it staying that way personally. Zata versus Eidolons thing all over again. I guess kind of. Though Eidolons, yeah, I guess it is kind of the same, because Zata's doesn't work because it would mess with the mechanics of the fight. So if we gave people a rocket launcher, you know, Thermion RPG weapon, it would kind of be weird because they couldn't make it work in the fights because it would mess with the mechanics. The shoddy mods. I feel like that could have been considered a nerf to it, but I guess that depends. Matter of perspective. Okay, if I don't get an item that I actually need, we're gonna crash out live. I'm sorry, everyone. You're gonna see me tweak the fuck out live. Again. Can this guy spawn, please? Or this gal spawn, please, I guess? Hello?
Stay focused.
Am I just not gonna get a candidate again? Okay, here we go. Wait, what the? Huh?
This next
something I need?
Claims she has shed.
Nope. Alright, well, we're crashing out, everyone. Gaz TTV moment. I've heard about Gaz crashing out on stream, but I have no idea what actually happened. People just keep making jokes about it. Kill you instantly if you fire it inside? True. Oh, holy shit, I got a large health restore. Time to go punch a badger. I gotta take out my fucking anger on the little bastard, dude. I gotta go fucking pulverize. I'm gonna turn him into a fucking smoothie. I have to take my anger out on the nearest bat. I'm gonna boot up Minecraft and simulate that shit. I have no other way to take out my violent tendencies.
May this aid you in the synthesis.
What did Gaz do? Yeah, I have no fucking idea. Got mad about a nerf on the slam builds. They said calmly. Oh, was that the slam build thing? Look, I don't think I've talked about this since it was announced. Slam builds deserve to get nerfed, if you ask me. And I actually think that there's potential for them to be more fun if the nerf is handled well. No bat soup. Because if they make it so, like, because the thing proposed by Pablo was making the range scale with height so that you couldn't spam them. First of all, good, because in public lobbies, people with, like, the Magistar Incarnate and shit are a plague, and I think this is a good change. But I think that there's also, like, potential for the fiction of the ground slam to be more fun, because you, like, go back, or you build up, you know, like, the feeling of it falling from a great height into this huge slam would be more fun. Also, they went back on the nerf? Not necessarily. Rebecca seemed kind of apprehensive to talk about it, but Pablo was talking about it on Blue Sky. It wasn't, like, something that he had said with any official capacity. They're gonna do the Zephyr nerf to them. I don't know which one you're referring to. Fuck it, we're just gonna spawn another Coda. I don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, we actually got extra ribbon slots in Techrod Encore. They expanded it, I think, from 180 to 210. Something like that.
Your enemies have grown.
I'll have to show. I finally got a good Coda name the other day. I've been waiting for so long. Oh. Yeah, like the Jupiter, not necessarily a great weapon, but I think it's cool. I fuck with the aesthetic, so we're using it. That's just how it be here. What mixtape did I get? 8-track Love promo. Gotta catch a stream. Welcome, Phoenix. Thank you for stopping by. A bat get hit? Oh my god. Someone here is named Bats. I got Angry Stories Res. 15 heart cells, though. That's nice. This Zeke color scheme is fucking horrendous. Please, no. They didn't get a free ribbon slots with Tech Encore. I just wish that there was some retroactive, like, as far as I'm aware, slots I should have earned from Master Rank tests and stuff didn't get applied to my account after the limit went up, which was unfortunate, but... Also, I agree that the quota system is better, minus one gripe. We have such a limited number of game modes that I think grinding them gets really boring really quickly. 4 Zekes in a row. Damn, Zeke the freak. Okay, check this out. Check this out. Adversaries, Technosite Coda. Look at this shit. Zeke underscore cuddly underscore guy.
Want to see cheese again?
This one goes hard. I thought about converting this one, but he had 14 heart cells, so I killed his ass.
Yeah.
From a login reward? Yeah, I've gotten a few since then from login rewards as well. No rabies here, sir. So is that they nerfed the names? Some deserved it, but there were some where it's like, damn, it's sad that these are going to be gone.
Yeah. What's Cedo again?
Cedo is Lados' shotgun. You have an active adversary, Nitro?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you want to join me for this and just spawn your own, you can, but up to you.
Oh yeah, let me,
Nova Umbral is online. No, I shouldn't invite him. He'll tweak the fuck out live again and start meowing in my chat.
mention Unreal or some shit.
I'll just do this, because this should be the easiest play. Zeke Crazy Freak. That one does go fucking insane. Never wanting to see him again. Can Nitro say Purple Burglar Alarm? I mean, I'd assume he can, but, like, he's welcome to try.
I could probably say Purple Burglar Alarm.
Yeah. I'm so pissed. 7 Love Bite Ephemeras, damn. I keep getting the Feeling Blue poster. I get one more packet, I swear to God. He's just a little guy. He's 5, something I didn't know was possible. Also, Nova Umbral probably should be put into a psych ward. How big is mine underscore combo was changed to how big blues? I was devastated. Damn, that fucking sucks. Haven't gotten a hard drive. Hard drive makes me feel like I'm in danger. Like, I feel like he's going to sexually assault me. Like, during his boss fight, I think it was during one of the phase transitions, Hard Drive said, oh, you have a boyfriend? Where's he tonight? And I'm like, I'm gonna get touched, dude. I'm gonna get touched. I was like, stay the fuck away from me.
Oh, there he is. Wait, what?
Is that Among Us Caliban?
Yes.
I'm killing you. Are so slow to defeat. If you mean in terms of like in terms of like grinding them, I think they're much faster than other adversaries. In terms of their boss fight, I actually like their boss fight a lot for the most part.
They can be slower than other adversaries if you manage to get really lucky guesses and they come really often, but otherwise it's it is a lot faster of a grind, and I kind of like that.
So you'll want to keep an eye out for a mixtape drop so you can spawn your own. Never gotten Packet or Zeke. At this point, I've gotten all of them several times. You're gonna get touched. That's what it... If anyone here has fought Hard Drive, you know what I mean. It feels like he's gonna touch you. Like, that image of the cat where it's like, Captain, I'm gonna touch you, bro. That... Okay, I have to fucking find this now. Hold on. I have to find this. This fucking... This fucking image, dude. This is from fucking Image Flip or some bullshit. Whatever. There's a watermark. I don't care. This image. This is what it's like. It's so low res. This is what it's like fighting Hard Drive. This is seriously what it's like fighting Hard Drive.
Now listen up. If you get close, it'll clock you and start a countdown. Bust into the
fucking hell. I'm okay. Anyways, let me know when you've spawned your coda, by the way.
I haven't gotten a CD. Oh, there it is.
CD's not. Anyways,
I can't. I'm blind.
True.
stuff here.
Okay. He loves to show up. There's... Who is it? I think it's DJ Rom. Okay, so I like the Coda boss fight if Jocks are your type. They're not gang. But, something that I absolutely despise with the Kodas is one of them. I think it's DJ Rom. It might be Drillbit. They can magnetize you, but unlike other sources of magnetize, you cannot roll it off. Once you are magnetized, it is just stuck on you. I hate that shit. It is so fucking frustrating, because not only are you going to get magnetized with no telegraphing and immediately kill yourself, but even if you identify that you've been magnetized, you can't do anything about it. You're still just going to fucking die. I hate it. It's so dumb. Zeking it live on stream. True. I'm about to post pictures of my penis online for real. I'm gonna post pictures of my little Zeke online. Oh my god. Anyways, should I have magnetized? I think it can be done okay if it's fairly telegraphed. Like, I think that Malice does it fine. You can see it coming fairly easily.
And Blaine, you can actually see the particle effects and shit.
Yeah, you can see it coming, and it's very easy to shake off. Like, once you know how to deal with it, it's not too bad. I'm zeking out for real. Another thing that I absolutely despise, the Legocytes have the ability to link themselves to you, like Nidus can, which will make you deal damage to yourself. I have killed myself trying to kill the Legocyte so many fucking times because the link animation is instant. They just do it.
Yeah.
So you don't see it coming and then boom, you just die. Rough shit, dude. Rough fucking shit. You can't see shit coming. I think there are plenty of times where you can. Like, if you're keeping an eye on Malice, for example, you can pretty easily see his Magnetize coming, because he has a very long wind-up where he'll, like, point at you for a few seconds before it activates. So, like, in that context, it's pretty easy to see coming, but with, like, the Kodas and the Legocytes, it's like, damn, bro, what is this shit? You can't take this shit no more, for real. I am back. Welcome. Makes me fucking scream. That one's also pretty fucked up, I'm not gonna lie. Am I still at full Deadhead stacks? I am, okay. Are all ops, I hate them. Honestly, I feel like DJ Rom seems like a cool guy, right? Where he talks about, like, knowing your own worth. Like, everyone else has some kind of, like, character flaw, I guess. Like, you know, Hard Drive is a sex pest. Drillbit is a narcissist. Who am I not thinking of? Zeke seems to also kind of have, like, a superiority complex going for him, and he's just mean to his teammates. Drippy? How do I... Huh. I don't actually know how to open this.
Yeah, I'm kind of mid-safe.
Anyways, like, Packet's just a kid. I can't hate him for that. And, DJ Rom's just like a guy who's just like, yeah, you should know your own worth. It's like, what the fuck? Why are we killing, bro? Also, yeah, Packet does seem like he's depressed and trying to hide it. Okay, what is the code I'm supposed to determine from this? Oh, it is the, break the ITV puzzle, isn't it? Okay. Are they all in this room?
That one was too, yep.
Would you look at that? Oh, it's an Ayatan.
Ooh, nice. Hey, I just realized that's the fucking Tenno backpack on the thing. I just broke it, but like that was the exact backpack that was on my back.
I think that's the Skuldra one, actually. There's a unique model for those ones. Yeah, DJ Rom is just a chill guy. He doesn't deserve what we do to him, for real.
Alright, yeah, Brad. If you break it into, does it count for my challenge, or do I have to be the one to break shit?
You have to be the one to break it, I'm pretty sure. Sadly, the Holvania challenges are just straight up easier by yourself.
Yeah.
The Gaping Maw. Why do you keep calling it the Gaping Maw puzzle? They're freaking me out a little bit. Mimicking the band? Yeah, like, as far the emails say that they were good at mimicking the personalities, but not their physicality yet. At the time that the program was canceled. So, it seems like that's probably just kind of part of it. Like, they had mastered being able to mimic their personalities, but they were completely off in the way that they look.
Which, yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah, it seems like Drill Bit and Hard Drive, like, C-Packet is like a little brother type of figure, whereas Zeke is just mean to him for whatever reason. And I don't really know about DJ ROM, I guess. The Halo 3 Flood Door puzzle? True. Was an emissary situation. So there are things, is an Infestation Origin retcon, potentially. As far as I understand, with the Technosite Coda specifically, from the emails that are leaked, the producers or the managers for online were sick of them being people, basically. And so they wanted to go to Holvania and experiment with cloning technology to make them so that they could use the clones instead of the actual online band for, like, public appearances and things like that. And it didn't go great. We'll put it that way. It did not go great. And yeah, the Coda are tech rod as far as I'm aware. Well, there's, like, the Technosite Coda is its own subset of the infestate. DJ ROM, this is Gary Clear, my beloved. True. Yeah, here's the thing. The lore of them going to low Earth orbit and waiting for a long time